yards last year and an offense that really spread the ball around quite a bit. So that's a pretty impressive accomplishment. KU has already offered him, and he wants to be a Jayhawk. He is a 27 ACT young man, too, so he's not only a good athlete, he's very smart.
Yeah, they lost a lot through graduation, so I don't think they're going to be as strong as some Maize teams have been. Last year they were extremely strong, really pushed Derby in one of those semifinal games before state competition took place, where Derby just, again, like we said, head above everybody, but they've lost quite a bit from graduation.
Well, even if you just look at Caleb Grill, who was the outstanding quarterback for the Maize Eagles, now on a basketball Division I scholarship at Iowa State, but he was a tremendous all-around athlete. And I think we talked about it in pregame last week, but it's worth repeating. Caleb Grill is a maybe once every 20-year type guy to come through a high school, and that's what he brought. Now, Maize still looks to be pretty good team this year. I mean, this is a team that went 9-2 the year before last, and I think they went 10-2 last year. And the first first 4 games, they didn't give up a single point. And then they gave up a safety, so through 5 games last season, the defense didn't give up any points at all. Then in week 6, they gave up 7 points. So through the first 6 games of the season last year, they only gave up 9 points. And their defense looks pretty good again this year.
Yep. Now, Valley Center was their opponent last week, and they pretty well handled Valley Center, but Valley Center was able to get some late scores on them in the fourth quarter.
It was a similar game to the game a year ago, but it ended up Maize pretty much took charge of that game.
Let's talk about personnel a little bit. Some personnel that have not hit the field yet for the Salthawks this year look to be back, specifically one defensive player that they really are going to need. And Coach Burns said really the defense will go around this young man.
Yeah, that young man is Jack Hover. He'll play the linebacker position, and last year, I believe he led the team in tackles, if I'm not mistaken. And he's a young man that just works very hard at everything he does. He leads by example. He will uplift that entire Salthawk football team coming back from injury that he had to sit out last week. And we hope he's at full strength, and he's going to have a fantastic season. His name is Jack Hoffer.
Yeah, Jack Hoffer. And then offensive line-wise, we're going to have Mr. Fan back?
Jonathan Fan is expected to be able to play tonight, and he is a 300-pound right tackle that played very well for Hutchinson last year as a sophomore. He's coming back as a junior this year. He's returning from injury, so he'll certainly make an impact on that offensive line.
Hutchinson came out of the game last week pretty good. Now, we did have one young man that got a finger caught in between a helmet, and he's going to have to probably have it splint, but he's going to be okay.
One of those bizarre football injuries that you just never know what's going to happen throughout the course of a game, but that was Waymeyer that plays defensive line for Hutchinson, and he's a tough young man. He's patched me up, but I'm ready to go, Coach.
Yeah, the contact even, I understand, even split it open, but he's going to be okay, so that makes a big difference. These kids are resilient these days anymore. They really want to play, and hopefully we'll be able to come out of with the opening kickoff and play pretty good and not have what happened last week. Turnovers, you look back on the game last week, and I do a little philosophical looking at it. Turnovers do have such a big part, even though they're a minute part of it type of thing, but they have such a big part of any game, be it an interception, be it special teams, muff punt. That about happened to the Blue Dragons up in Iowa Western the other day, is a muff punt, let the quick 6, and turnovers are such a big part of the ball game anymore.
Football is a game of such emotion, and when you can take the ball away from your opponent and start to rack up a few quick points, the way Wichita West did last Friday night, it's a game of momentum. And sometimes that momentum can be elusive, but tonight Hutchinson would like to come out on the plus end of the turnover battle.
Plus, you always talk about how you get better from game 1 to game 2. It's the old coach's cliche, broadcaster's cliche. We always say that each and every year, but it's true. So much improvements, both sides now. Now, we know Maize is going to improve as well, but I think Hutchinson will really see a different Salthawk team tonight.
And football more than any other sport. I don't think it's quite as true in basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, but in football for sure, once you get that baptism of varsity action, if you haven't been a player that has had a lot of opportunities to start games, makes a huge difference from week 1 to week 2.
You're listening to Salt Hawk football pregame show right here on BW. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back and talk more about the upcoming contest. We're at Maize High School in Maize, Kansas. It's the Salt Hawks versus Maize coming up in just a little bit. We'll be back with more of the pregame right after this.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Kansas did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
All right, welcome back. I stand corrected. 47-0 was the final score last week with Valley Center and Maize. So Maize, again, with a shutout. So you just talked about it. I forgot it now. I remembered all the way through the sixth game, they'd only given up about 6 points or something like that. And a matter of fact, because it was a pick for a point and then an extra point on their fifth game. So I'm not sure that's going to be the case this year. But we do know the strength of their team is going to be their defense. Their defense has been so impressive. Now, last year, you know, you say that the defense is so remarkable, but even Maize, when they came up against Wichita Northwest in the playoffs last year, they gave up 60 points. So it was kind of one of those things that you just didn't know what to expect from Maize because, again, they go through 6 games only giving up a grand total of 9 points, and then they get to the end of the season and give up 67 at Wichita Northwest, which there's no shame in that because Wichita Northwest racked up a ton of points against everybody they played last year. But Maize did end the season averaging over 40 points a game and just giving up 14 points a game, and they went 10-2. Yeah, that's a pretty good year any way you want to look at it. Were those 2 losses? Did both losses Derby? No, they lost. You're right. They lost to Derby, and they played Derby probably as tough as anybody did all year. They lost to Derby 35-21, but then they lost to Wichita Northwest in the 5A. That's right. In the playoff game. Yep, so that's where that came down because Ark Valley loaded again this year with some good teams. So, any surprises from week 1 for you? I didn't really see any major surprises. Maybe a little bit of a surprise at how well Salina South played McPherson. That ended up being it wasn't a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. And McPherson is 4A, Salina South is 5A, but McPherson, as we all know, they're not your run-of-the-mill 4A program. Exactly, and that's who we're referencing with the 14 points earlier when we had lunch today. We're talking about that's why that got stuck in my head. So Salina Central played pretty tough game against Goddard Eisenhower. Goddard Eisenhower ended up winning that one 21-14. So that was tight. But as you looked around the AVCTL, things went pretty much according to script. Yep, pretty much according to how it should go. And, of course, getting deeper into it this week. Next week, we head out to Garden City for a long ride out there for the matchup against a WAC team. And that's the other basically out-of-conference game other than Wichita West that we have. And then we'll get into the Ark Valley race. That's absolutely right. And you and I have talked many times, Glenn, there's not really a better high school football atmosphere anywhere in the state than Garden City. It's a fun place to attend a football game. Whether Garden City is expected to win 10 games or whether they're expected to win 2 games, it's still a really good atmosphere out there, and the crowd will be loud. I would agree with you. Maybe only second to maybe Derby, right around that. They're both pretty close because there's good atmosphere with what's going on. But that is a loud, boisterous group. Now, we're going to have a loud group tonight. Maize is pretty proud of their athletics, and they've had good success over the years. So we will be at Maize High School. Now, they just passed a big bond issue. There's going to be a lot of changes. I think they're going to build another middle school because Maize is just growing leaps and bounds, and that's going to feed both Maize South and Maize High School with some good athletes. And then also they're going to build an indoor auditorium as well. They just passed a $107 million bond issue that was passed 3-1 by percentage of voters. So look for some things to continue to happen over at Maize.
Not very many high schools have swimming facilities.
Indoor facilities, you bet.
And that's going to be something special at Maize High School.
It really is. It really is going to be something special. So we're going to take a time out and come back and again look at the matchup between Maize High and the Salt Hawks tonight. And I'm going to give you, again, some results from also freshman and JV ball, football on the football gridiron this last week that took place this last Monday. So we're going to talk about those as well. We'll be back with more on the Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show on KWBW right after this.
Hey, honey, is this your course schedule for the fall?
Yep.
Let me see here. English, good. Chemistry, trigonometry, excellent. World history, I love world history. Baseball? Wait, baseball? Baseball isn't a course, honey.
Well, sure it is, Mom. High school sports are about so much more than winning and losing. They teach lessons that can't be taught in a classroom, like accountability and self-discipline, the value of teamwork. I may not be earning a grade, but I'm learning how to compete later in life. Isn't that what getting a good education is all about?
Yes, of course it is. I was just testing you.
What can teenagers here in Kansas learn from participating in high school sports? Plenty, as it turns out. That's why they're called education-based athletics.
High school sports. There's so much more than just a game.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. Glenn Grunwald, Coach Knack, Dan Nacarado joining me. Joe Blake will be joining us on the sideline again tonight, and we'll be chatting with Joe in the next portion of before we get to the kickoff. Of course, he's brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit Company. We're located right up on 30th. By the way, Brown Shoe Fit Company with a booth at the fair, and I think it's the Sunflower South building. They're on the west side. Stop in and see them at the fair if you go out to the fair, as well as also, of course, Papa John's Pizza, 501 East 17th. Papa John's, giving them a call at 665-6262. Our sideline reports brought to you by both of those fine businesses. The football action on Monday, it was the freshman team winning it 16-6 over Wichita West. That was at Wichita West, or over in Wichita anyway. JV football lost to Wichita West 34-0. A couple other scores from other sports, by the way. Soccer, a winner over Rose Hill. Now, they also played yesterday. I have to check and see on that score, but they got a nice win over Rose Hill. And also varsity volleyball took two away from campus, 2 away from Maize in a triangular meet. JV team also won over Maize as well. And also some other action taking place with volleyball. They won't play till next week. So sports are off and hard and heavy already within USD 308. So
don't have to look very far to find something to do.
Strength of Maize. We talked about their defense. Is that going to be the strength of Maize plus Cox at the running back squad?
Well, Maize defense, that's what you notice first because they just simply don't give up very many points. However, Maize is a little bit different from most of the high schools Hutchinson will face this year in that Maize throws the ball about 3 out of every 4 downs. They are not afraid to move that football.
So they're going to be slinging it a little bit.
They will sling the football around the field tonight, which could be the opportunity for Maize to hit on some big plays, but it also could create an opportunity for the Salt Hawks to get a couple interceptions and get a couple extra possessions. Maybe the Salt Hawks can get a sack or two.
That could be, especially with Harbor back in there, that's going to help a lot.
Exactly. So. And Hutchinson's defense, they're a little bit unpredictable. They're a tough team to prepare for because Coach Yanis, Coach Armbrust, Coach Reset, Coach Vernon, the head coach, obviously, they come up with different looks, and they're prepared to make in-game adjustments that can make it difficult on an opponent's offensive game plan.
With Maize throwing so much, Dan, are we going to see some blitzing from Hutchinson?
We will see some blitzing, and we just never know where it's going to come from, and you never know when they're going to do it because they have multiple blitz packages, and they're not afraid to dial it up.
Coach Vernon told us that they really will throw the ball. They'll throw it over 50% of the time. So I think this is a game that could go a little longer than most games because once you have a lot of throwing, you have a lot of incomplete passes, which stops the clock.
Which is fine. There's no place we'd rather be.
Exactly. So looking forward to it, as always, Dan, and it should be a lot of fun. Now let's talk about the Salt Hawks side of the football. What are we going to see both defensively and offensively from the Salt Hawks?
Salt Hawks, their team identity is ball control on offense. They want to run the ball. They want to run the ball, and occasionally mix in a surprise pass where hopefully the receiver has got nobody around him. But their identity is to control the ball, control the clock, go on long drives, and finish them off with points. And then defensively, hopefully you don't keep your defense on the field that long.
Yeah, that's a situation where if the offense can grind out some time, maybe win the possession war, this is in any game, it really helps your defense because they're able to rest a little bit longer. Plus, you wear down the opponent's defense. So, again, this is a situation where you really have a good defense with Maize and a good defense with Hutchinson. I think a pretty good defense with Hutchinson, so it's going to be ball control is going to be a big part of it. That's
right, but again, with Maize throwing the ball as often as they do, it's kind of unpredictable as to whether we'll see a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game.
So if you're a defensive coordinator for Hutchinson, you're going to say, hey, guys, they are going to throw the football, so be ready. We're going to blitz some, but you never know when that pass is going to come. And if you're a defensive coordinator for Maize, you're going to say all they're going to do is run the ball, so you don't have to worry about the pass. Just control those lanes, and you'll be okay. Where you might be able to sneak a little screen pass or a little flare out in the right or left flat and see what happens.
Maize will definitely crowd the line of scrimmage and dare the Salt Hawks to throw it, but this is a Salt Hawk team that's capable of completing passes. They look pretty good in practice with their passing game. So the thing is, the Salt Hawks need to set up the passing game with success in the running game first, and that's what opens up their passing game. With the Salt Hawk defense tonight, they really have to have the mindset of no matter what happened the next play, no matter what happened the last play, it's over, it's done. The next play is the most important one because every now and then a team that throws it as much as Maize, every now and then they're going to have a big game.
With that said, I thought that we were pretty resilient last week, we being Hutchinson, after really getting punched in the mouth. I thought the guys kind of got together and didn't go into full panic mode and came out and played pretty good football. It was 28-14 and we had the ball. So, it was kind of like, hey, you know what? One more score, and we're right back in this thing. So I think that's a good situation. We'll just have to see what happens. Dallas Chambers, I thought he did a pretty good job the other night.
He made excellent reads in the option game. Now, I didn't talk to Coach Vernon about this. I don't know if you did, Glenn, but from what I could tell, both during the game and watching film of the game, looked to me like his option reads were spot on. And a couple of times where he took some pretty hard hits, he bounced right back up and led the team on the next play.
All right, well, we're anxious to see what's going to happen, and we'll get set and get going here. Again, we'll talk with Joe Blake, who'll be on the sideline, brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit Company, as well as Papa John's Pizza. And Sarah Peterson will get set with the stream and get it going on HushPost.com as well as NFHSHighSchool.com as well. So looking forward to it. So, Dan, we'll see you just a little bit, okay?
Can't wait for kickoff.
You bet. Welcome back again, and we'll be back with the kickoff coming your way in just a little bit. So that's going to wrap up this week's pregame portion of the Salt Hawk Football pregame show. We'll get set to bring the ball game to you in just a little bit from Maize. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football pregame show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salt Hawk game, each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.
It's time for Hutchinson Salt Hawk Sports on BW Radio. This broadcast is brought to you by First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, H&R Block, and the Medicine Shop. Salt Hawk Sports also brought to you by these Salt Hawk Boosters, Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services, Jackson Meat, Chick-fil-A, Wynn Insurance Group, and I Need a Cleaners. Sideline reports are brought to you by Brown's Shoe Fit and Papa John's Pizza. Now your host, Glenn Grunwald.
Well, welcome, everybody, to Maize, Kansas. I'm Glenn Grunwald. So glad to have you along. I am joined in the booth with my good friend Dan Nacarado, better known as Coach Knack. And, Knack, I tell you what, tonight is what?
It's a great night for football.
And it is a great night for football. You could say that just about with a capital G because of the fact how beautiful it is down there. We're going to check very quickly on the sidelines with Joe Blake. Joe Blake, Senior,
at Hutch High, and Joe gives our sideline reports. Joe, it looks pretty good down there, 78 degrees, bud.
Yes, sir, 78 degrees, and a great night for football. We got a wind coming out of the south, and it feels nice.
Yeah, wind's only about 7 miles per hour, so you can't ask for better now. Now, you're facing into the sun.
Yes,
of course, it's a north and west field, so it really won't affect anybody other than maybe the coaching staff, but because the players, other than the ones on the sideline, it's not going to affect them too much, do you think?
No, it won't affect any players too much. Might affect the coaches and their vision a little bit, but should be good.
All right, at school this week, kind of talking about some of the things that are going on with the kids. What's the attitude of the football players that you know?
Well, the football team, they really want to bounce back and, prove to the student body that they can, put something together with this team. So.
You betcha. All right, thank you, Joe Butch. Again, Joe on the sidelines, brought to you by Brown's Shoe Fit, and it's located up on East 30th Street. Don't forget also, they're at the fair. They're in the one of the Sunflower South building over on the west wall. So stop in there and see Steve. I walked by the booth the other day. He was busy with some customers to stop in and say hello. And also brought to you by Papa John's Pizza, 501 East 17th Street, 665-7272. Give them a call for Papa John's Pizza. Dan, your expectations for tonight? Salt Hawks trying to bounce back. They got punched in the mouth early last week. Wichita West scored 3 quick touchdowns, and we talked about it. After that, it was a pretty close ball game. Yeah, West got some more scores, but Hutch got on the board early also and had a couple of opportunities to score, trailing with 2 touchdowns.
Hutchinson racked up quite a few more first downs than Wichita West, and Hutchinson actually outgained Wichita West 300 yards to 250. A lot of positives to take away from that game last week, even though Wichita West was the victorious team. And this is a very confident, optimistic Hutchinson Salt Hawk football team.
I really believe they are. Now, we do have a couple injuries to be a little concerned with. Noah McIntyre is not going to be able to go. We were concerned about David Waymeyer, but he's going to be all right. He smashed a finger, caught it right in between 2 helmets, and really was in pain on the sideline. But he'll have to slide over into that old shade side of that defense a little bit and be that nose guard out there, and we'll see what he can do tonight.
Yeah, originally coming into tonight's game, the plan was for Noah McIntyre to move from his left guard position on offense over to the nose guard position on defense. McIntyre, with a medical condition, will prevent him from playing tonight. Therefore, David Waymeyer will play the nose guard again tonight, and he'll be flanked by Isaiah Phillips at one defensive tackle and Josiah Morgan at the other one.
Awesome. Again, we talked about the fact that we are up actually on the west side of the stadium here. Sarah Peterson is a junior at Hutch High. She'll bring all the video photography to you. Both this year also on YouTube. We're trying a different stream channel on YouTube. So if you go to HutchPost.com, it is embedded, and also you can click on the YouTube channel. Now, if you're tuning in by chance and saying, hey, it's not on NFHS, it will be later on the NFHS network. To be uploaded a little bit later on this evening. So this gives us just a little bit of better opportunity to be able, with our software, to use a Macintosh rather than a PC, and that's basically what we're doing with that. And we'll load that a little bit later, but so glad to have everybody along this evening. We're going to take about a 2-minute timeout and get all set to go with Maize versus Hutch High, live from Maize Stadium in Maize, Kansas. Dan and I'll be back in just a little bit. This is the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
The Kansas State Fair is such an exciting time for us at Pools Plus. Come by our booth and discover all of the savings. All CR Plastics furniture will be marked down during the fair. And as always, you'll find the biggest selection of American Whirlpool spas at all-time low prices. Pools Plus is in the Big Tent, Caddy Corner from Lake Talbot. Voted #1 place to buy a hot tub for the 7th year in a row. You can visit the other places, but why waste your time? Find the same great deals going on in-store at Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salt Hawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Along with, again, my good friend Dan Nacarado, Coach Nack, as we call him. Coach, there's one way to get your kids involved, and I'm talking about the youth level. One way to get them involved is let them run out with the introduction of football player out of the tunnel. That was cool to see, and this is another cool night here, and I'll applaud Maize for this. This is honor flight night here with all the different Air Force involvement and also some fundraising for the honor flights. What a cool thing for them to do for those gentlemen that served our country and ladies that served our country.
Absolutely. It's a patriotic night here at Maize High School football field. There were 16 to 20 United States of America flags outlining the track, and the honor flight volunteers were here in their bright green shirts. U.S. Army's represented. Air Force is represented. It's a patriotic night.
Yeah, it really is. A couple scores while we have the flip of the coin out at the middle of the field. Wichita Northwest last night. These are Thursday scores that took place. One over Wichita East, 75-8. So the Grizzlies are for real. 75-8 was that final over Wichita East. Shawnee Mission Northwest, the winner over Leavenworth, 43-14. Lawrence over Shawnee Mission East, 30-7. And Blue Valley over Blue Valley North, 34-7. Gardner Edgerton off to a good start, 34-7 over Olathe West. They're 2-0. Sumner 26, Highland Park 24 in a tight ball game. Frontenac 20, Colgan 0. Actually, that game, it did not get finished. It will be completed on Saturday because evidently they had some weather that went through yesterday. So those are some scores from yesterday. The one that we really pay attention to is the fact of that Wichita Northwest and Wichita East scores. So looks like Hutchinson will have an opportunity to defer.
I think Maize won the toss.
Maybe Maize won the toss. Yes, Hutchinson will receive. So Maize will kick off, and looks like Hutch will defend the goal to our right, which is the south goal. And Maize will be kicking off from the north. So we're about set to get underway. Special thanks to Mark Atkins, who is running the chief engineer work. He's running the board tonight. We appreciate that very much. We can't get on and do everything ourselves. Appreciate all the hard work that Mark does. We really have been busy with the state fair at BW and all kinds of things going on, plus the mix in as well. Community college football, congratulations to Ryan Rhodes' team. They'll take on Fort Scott tomorrow. We'll talk more later as the game progresses about that big game. They're ranked number 1 in the nation. And, again, they were...
what are they ranked again?
Number 1 in the nation.
Oh,
That's kind of nice to hear and say that, isn't it? So we're excited about that. Here, Hutchinson has an opportunity to try to do something tonight. The Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League. Maize has had their number for the last couple of years. And let's just see if the Salthawks are able to put some stuff together. We had a young, I don't think it was a Maize High football player, but we might have had a youngster that was hurt on their run through the tunnel because they're down at about the, what do you think, about the 5-yard line, trying to attend to somebody in the tunnel that either got ran over or got banged into. Something happened down there, Dan. And there's several medical staff that are checking on somebody right at about the 5-yard line. So that's kind of holding up the start of this game because we're about set to get underway.
Again, Maize had the youth football programs run out in front of the tunnel, and possibly one of the youth players might have tripped and fallen and injured himself.
Might happen. It's a little one who they're attending to, not one of the Maize players. So I just say it might be an arm. I saw a little arm pass through my binocular windows.
It's hard to see there because the training staff is huddled around him, so it's hard to see what's going on.
They're going to come down and see if they can at least get him off to the sideline so they can attend, he or she possibly. So, again, we'll be on the road next week at Garden City. And Garden City is actually here taking on Valley Center tonight in football action.
Not too far.
Not too far away from us. And that was the opponent for Maize last week. And Maize just took it right to Valley Center. What was that final, 47-0? Yes.
That's right, 47-0. And Garden City had the unfortunate scheduling of opening with Derby last week, and Derby has really got it rolling, and they won by quite a wide margin. Garden City did score a couple of late touchdowns in that game. I think the score ended up, wasn't it something like 48 to 19?
That's a 19 or something like that late, so they handled it pretty easily. So, again, we'll travel out to Garden City. We're trying to find out for sure if that is a 7 o'clock start or a 7:30 p.m. start out in Garden City. We'll confirm that and try to get that on the air for you as well. Don't forget Reno County Coaches Show tomorrow night at 6:30. On Monday night at 6:30 on KWBW, as we will be chatting with Chris Young, the fine golf coach for Hutchinson Community College, and also I'll be talking with Lee Smith, who's the fine coach for Central Christian in action tonight as well.
Lee Smith was the offensive coordinator for Hutchinson High School football back in 2001, 2002, 2003, somewhere in that neighborhood, and he's an outstanding coach. Looking ahead to Garden City has a very young team. They have 6 sophomores starting. They only have a grand total of 9 seniors on their roster out at Garden City. So the Salthawks are certainly hoping to travel way out west and come back home with a win next week. Tonight, the Salthawks face the Maize Eagles. Head coach Gary Guzman in his 29th season as a head football coach. He was at Cape and Mount Carmel as an assistant coach and then got the head coaching job from 1991 to 2004. 2005 to 2010, he was the head coach at Wichita Southeast. He's been here at Maize High School since 2011. And, Glenn, you mentioned earlier, last year Maize went 10-2. Year before that, they went 9-2.
Yeah.
Now, that's a team. 2015, the Maize Eagles were 1-8.
Yeah, they struggled that year.
And they turned it around. 2016, 7-3. 2017, 9-2. Last year, 10-2. Just one game away from the state championship game last year.
A couple names we'll be calling a lot. Camden Jurgensen is their quarterback, 5'9", 145. He is a senior. Also, number 25, Caden Cox, the running back, 5'10", 185 pounds. He's a senior. He had a great year last year. And there is another Grill in the lineup. He is a sophomore, Kyle Grill. He's a wide receiver. Of course, we called a Grill name through basketball last year as well as through football. And now is at Iowa State playing basketball.
And Coach Grill is the head basketball coach here at Maize High School.
And we'll have to see. They're still attending to the young lad down at about the 5-yard line that came to the tunnel, and it must be of some seriousness, although I don't see there's not an ambulance or anything like that. Athletic directors are looking over the medical staff that is attending to the youngster, and we'll see what they're going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a 1-minute timeout because we've delayed the kickoff until they can get this youth off the field. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. We're awaiting the opening kickoff for the Salthawks and the Maize Eagles. We'll be back with more on the Salthawk Radio Network right after this.
Are you ready for a new smartphone, but you need a +1? It's buy one, get one free time at Next Tech Wireless. Activate any device and receive an iPhone XR or Samsung Galaxy S10e for free. Swing by a Next Tech Wireless store today. Make the switch, get a great phone, and get a second great phone free. Oh, don't forget you'll get high-speed unlimited data and the best coverage, too. Besides, what's better than a new smartphone? Well, that would be getting a second one for free. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won. In Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back. So glad to have you along at Maize High School. We're about set to get underway. They got the young youth. I'm not sure what. He is moving under his own power now. They're walking him off and off of the field, and they've got that taken care of. And deep ball for the Salthawks will be number 3 for the Salthawks, and that will be McEwen back deep to receive. And we're about set to get football underway on this beautiful Saturday night. Again from Maize High School. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado in the booth, along with Sarah Peterson, the video photographer. And also down on the sideline is Joe Blake, senior at Hutch High. Into the end zone of kickoff sales, and they'll rekey it. They'll bring it out for a touchback. So 1st and 10 up their own 20, Dan, and we'll see what Hutchinson comes out with. Usually it's a pretty simple play straight up the middle, maybe off that veer formation. They run what is called a Navy as the primary formation for the Salthawks. And again, your quarterback will be Dallas Chambers.
Navy just means there's a wide receiver on each side. It's a balanced formation. And actually, they're not going Navy. They're going left over, so they'll probably run the ball to the left.
Okay, the 2 slots as well are in there. Here's a get to the first man through. That's Ken 2, and he's going to be met right at the 20. Ball's taken away. Maize has it. Touchdown, Maize. Maize just stripped the ball away, and looked like it might have been Brandon Long, a defensive back. I'm not sure. We'll double check it. And Maize is getting Kyle Haas,
number 30.
And Maize on the board already with the quick touchdown. Kyle Haas, defensive lineman, just took it away from Ken 2. And a 6 on the board to the Eagles right away with 11:50 to go in this first quarter of play. Similar play happened last week. And Hutchinson, some way, somehow, has got to get that fixed. Here's the try for the extra point coming in. The kick away is going to be Seagraves.
Just a sophomore.
He's only a sophomore for the Maize Eagles. Thank you, Dan. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick. The kick is up and on its way and is good. Just like that, Maize on top. 7-0. We'll wait the Maize kickoff. We'll be right back. 7-0 Maize on top. Salthawk Radio Network. We'll be right back after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Apple Lane Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School on Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
By Haas. He stripped it away at about the 20-yard line. Cantu was stopped and held up, and I guess they continued to let him churn a little bit, and he was just had the ball stripped away for 6. And we're got to bounce back quickly. So we await the Maize kickoff.
Crowd of Maize defenders rallied to the football right in the middle of the field, and Kyle Haas wrestled the ball away and ran it 20 yards for a Maize touchdown.
And frankly, that's what you teach. You stand them up and you try to strip that ball away. Here's a big kick. It's going to be taken back into the end zone for a touchback. McCune looked at it and watched it sail over his shoulder. And Hutchinson will have another possession at their own 20. Down, though, by 7. 7-0. So 11:50 to go in this first quarter of play. Sun's starting to set. And Joe, what's your thoughts on the sideline? Quick start again. Kind of deja vu from last week.
Up deja vu, and the offense is ready to get back out there, move the ball.
Joe Blake, courtesy of Brown Shoe Fit Company as well as Papa John's Pizza.
Right formation this time with a tight end on the right side.
All right, Dallas Chambers, the quarterback. Here's the take. He'll keep it on himself around the left side. Has some room. Picks up about 6 yards, and that's at 5 or 6 yards to get on that quarterback keeper on that left side.
Ran the option left. That was to the weak side of the field. That was the wide receiver side. And it was a good read by Chambers to keep the ball. And you're always okay picking up 6 yards on 1st and 10.
Yeah, 2nd and 4, the call. Ball in the left hash mark for the Salthawks. They trail at 7-0. And jump on the ball. They're going to give it first man through on the right side. And that's going to be the slot. And carrying the football for Hutchinson is number 5 out there. And that's going to be McCune with the carry. Number 3. So a nice pickup, but the flag on the play, and he'll stay it.
I don't think they actually threw a flag.
They did. I saw a lot of movement.
It looked like number 30, Kyle Haas, was in there early, but they seemed to not throw it.
All right, so it comes up 3rd down and 5. There's no gain on the play. Rogers goes in motion, then he steps back, and now a flag on the play.
Yeah, Rogers was in motion, and McHugh flinched at the other running back position. That's 2 players in motion at the same time. You can't do that. That's a 5-yard penalty.
They'll march it back 5, so 3rd down and 9 will be the call now for the Salt Hawks. Those are the football at about the 21-yard line, their own Hutchinson's own 21. They'll break the formation, set a wide out to the left side. Rogers will set up in that slot on the right. Cantu, the tailback, to give the Rogers around the left side on the pitch, and he is hit right at the 20 and dropped. It'll bring a 4th down punting situation for Hutch High.
Hutchinson has attempted to run to the left every single snap so far this game.
Well, Chambers picked up 6 on a 1st down, and then after that, Hutchinson not able to get anything going. So Villarreal will go back to punt the football. Maize will have a pair of receivers set up at about the 45-yard line. Here comes the kick, a good kick. It's going to be fielded at the 47 and come around toward us with the football. Out there is going to be Christian. He finds a seam on the left side. He's down to the 30, 15, 5, 10, touchdown. A 53-yard return by Freeman Christian by the Maize Eagles. So you have a strip of the football, and now you have a punt return for 6, and it's 13-0 Maize.
Well, that was a nice return by Preven Kristen. He caught the punt on the Hutchinson sideline, only a couple of yards away from the sideline, and ran it to the wide side of the field, came all the way around to the Maize sideline, and was able to break a tackle or 2 and run it in for a touchdown.
Picked up some nice blocking at about the 45,
yes,
and his speed took him down to about the 20, broke away for the TD from 53 yards out on the punt return. Here's the point after kick. It is up and on its way, and it is good just like that with 9:42 to go in this first quarter play. 14-0 Eagles on top of the Salt Hawks. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be back with more on the Salt Hawk Radio Network right after this.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're First for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Salt Hawk fans on the far side, the east side, are here shell-shocked, as you and I are as well, Dan, just about like last week. A strip away from, 20 yards out, 25 yards out for the TD from the first play from scrimmage. And then you turn around, you get the punt return, a 53-yarder unofficially, and all of a sudden it's 14-0. You haven't even got your popcorn yet.
Yeah, Maize has not even run a single play of offensive football. Their defense scored a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage for Hutchinson, and then Craven Kristen returned a punt all the way for a TD.
All right, Hutch has an opportunity to try to get something going here. The ball's going to go into the end zone, and it will be 1st and 10 from the 20 on the touchback. So now let's see what Hutchinson gets. They had positive yardage from Dallas Chambers, but then after that, the next 2 carries plus the penalty dropped them down to a 3rd and 9 situation for the 21. Villarreal with a nice punt, but then the return, a nice one by Maize, as Christian took it 53 yards.
Right over formation, so look for Hutchinson to go to the right side this time. Again, Jonathan Fan at 300 pounds at right tackle is back.
Good one to follow. There's a turn to give up the middle and a fumble on the play, loose football, and there's a bunch of red jerseys around it, and I believe Maize might have picked it up. We'll get the official call. Ball's at the 35. And it will be Maize football.
It was a well-executed hole for Cantu to run through.
He picked up some nice yards.
Picked up 13 yards, but then fumbled it on the tail end.
So turnovers again plaguing the Salt Hawks. She'll mark it at the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
Be the first snap from center for the Maize Eagles, and they do pass it a little bit more than half of the time. They've got trips to the right this time.
Yeah, Jurgensen, the quarterback, he'll be in a shotgun formation. Looks like he's going to have Christian behind him. Rolls to the right. He'll throw the football. They'll throw a lot about 50% of the time. And catch is made. Making a catch out there was Josh McLaughlin. And he got some nice yardage. Picked up about 5. 2nd down and 5. They'll mark it officially right at the 29. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles from the Huts 29-yard line. As Jurgensen came out throwing. They throw it about, 52% of the time. We finally decided.
That's right.
Knack pretty close in there. So they'll throw it a lot. Yeah, they give it off. First man through. Carrying it's going to be Hugh Banks, and he's going to be stacked for little to no gain. Nice job defensively for Hutchinson. Waymeyer in there to help out on the stop. So 3rd down and about 5 now facing the Maize Eagles.
Good to see Jack Hoover out there at linebacker.
Oh, he'll make a difference, won't he? He'll make a huge difference out there at linebacker. Also Hunter Austin at the Hawk linebacker position. Back to throw, right side, 1st down. Nice catch over there. Not much yardage after the catch, but it went far enough to get the 1st down. As again picking up the catch was Christian out of his running back position.
Maddox Hennehaw had good coverage. It was just a perfectly thrown pass.
So 1st and 10 now for the Eagles. Football's going to be on the 22-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the Huts 22. Jurgensen, the quarterback. Long snap out, looks to his left and sends a man in motion. Now they hold up. To give again up the middle. With the football is going to be Cox. Cox around the right side. Nice yardage once he got the corner turned on the far side. Picks up, looks to be about 5.
Hutchinson really had that play well defended, and they had an opportunity to make a tackle for loss. But Cox is an outstanding running back.
Yeah, he is.
You don't get scholarship offers from Division I colleges unless you're pretty good. And Caden Cox has already agreed to attend the University of Kansas on a football scholarship next year.
McLaughlin in the slot on that left side. Another player out on the left will be Christian at wide receiver spot. Jurgensen, the quarterback, to turn, the fake. He'll keep it himself, goes around the left side. On the outer perimeter, picks up some blockers, goes to the 5, and it's going to be a 1st and goal situation from the 5. He took it from the 18 all the way down to the 5-yard line. 13-yard pickup for the quarterback, Jurgensen, on the keeper.
Free safety Peyton Cahoon had to come a long way to make the tackle, and if he didn't make that tackle, it would have been a touchdown for Maize.
Well, he picked up some blockers as he turned that corner. Saw a lot of white shirts in pursuit, but they weren't able to catch up with the speed of Jurgensen. So now Maize knocking on the door. 1st and goal from the 4. So a better pickup than I had indicated. I said 13. It was actually a 14-yard pickup. To give the Cox left side, he's going to walk it in. 6 points for the Eagles with 7:24 to go in his first quarter of play, and it is 20-0. And this is really, truly is Dante Fu from last week as Wichita West led quick. Now the Eagles lead quick. They'll get in and set up for the extra point. Cox just walked it in on the left side. Hutchinson had nobody over to be able to get to it. They went with the fake, and Cox was able to put it in for 6.
Maize runs that swinging gate on extra point attempts, so if the defense doesn't match up, then they'll try to go for 2. In that case, Hutchinson had it well defended, so they'll kick it.
Here's the point after kick. It is up. It is good. And just like that, it is 21-0. Maize Eagles with the early lead in the first quarter. 7:24 to go in the first quarter of play. We'll wait the Maize kickoff. This is the Salt Hawk Radio Network. We'll be back right after this.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salt Hawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, 21-0, 7:24 to go in this first quarter of play. Maize Eagles on top. Joe, that was 3 pretty quick touchdowns.
Yes, it was. Not as much optimism as there was at the beginning of the game. But.
Yeah, exactly. Optimism kind of sucked out a little bit. We'll see if Hutchinson can get something going. Joe's sideline reports brought to you again by Brown Shoe Fit, as well as also Papa John's Pizza. Brown Shoe Fit also at the fair. Stop in and see him. Here's the kickoff by Maize. Same results. It'll go in the end zone. Touch back out to the 20.
Well, who would have thought? We're 7:24 remaining in the first quarter, and the player that has touched the ball more than any other player in the stadium is the Maize sophomore kicker, who has kicked off 4 times now and kicked 3 extra points.
Yeah. Cole Seagraves, again, like you said, the sophomore, 5'7", 143. It's a lonely life as a kicker, but he's been busy tonight already with 3 extra points and 3 kickoffs.
Had a lot of action early in this game.
3 kickoffs into the end zone for touchbacks. All right, Dallas Chambers will try to get the Salt Hawks rolling. He'll keep it on his right side and has some room. He's across the 25 up to the 26 and brought down at the 27-yard line. Stoppage out there by Stillwell for the Maize Eagles. They'll make it mark it at the 7, so a nice 7-yard pickup by Dallas Chambers. And Hutchinson just needs more of that. March right down the field. Last week, they actually outgained Wichita West, but not on the scoreboard, but in yardage. Dallas Chambers to turn, to give straight up the middle. I believe that's going to be Hutchinson's Jalen Barlow with the carry.
Right. The Hutchinson offensive line looks good. They are firing off the ball and creating some room to run. That offensive line, Levi Allen, Chase Kepler, Caden Pennington, Tyler Robinson, Jonathan Fann, and at tight end, Kyler Burnett.
So Barlow at the right slot. You got McHugh at the left slot. Here's Dallas Chambers under the center. The turn, he gives it to McHugh, bounces in and got hit straight at the line of scrimmage, but he goes forward. Loose ball again, but this time he held on to it. And McEwen carries it all the way up very close to the first down. It's going to be about a yard short, so third down and 1.
Football's a game where you cannot feel sorry for yourself. The most important play is the next play, regardless of what happened previously. You just got to go out there and play your best each snap.
Yeah, they got second down on the down marker, but it's actually 3rd down and 1. Chambers at the 29 to turn. Gives straight up the middle, and that's going to be Barlow, and he carries it forward for the first down. Barlow picks up the first down. If you listen to the crowd mic, they're not quite accurate with who's carrying the football. That time is Barlow, so evidently he is in there, and they're going to go without that fullback slot.
Got to watch this game along with us on HutchPost.com. Sarah Peterson does a great job with the camera work.
Yeah, and it's also on Salt Hawk Sports on YouTube. Salt Hawk Sports YouTube channel if you want to go and see it that way. Chambers gives it straight away, right up the middle. Barlow across the 50 to the 49, turning his feet, and finally dropped right there. Now, I tell you what, he's got a quick burst as he gets to that line of scrimmage. I like the fact he runs north and south.
He runs north and south, and the offensive line is firing off the ball hard, gaining the advantage at the point of attack.
Into Eagle territory at the 49. 21-0 if you just tuned in. Salt Hawks were shell-shocked again, just like last week. In the first 5 minutes, 3 touchdowns by the Eagles.
Lost 2 fumbles and gave up a punt return for a touchdown for those 3 touchdowns.
Chambers has brought his Salt Hawk team across midfield. Back to throw. Chambers doesn't have a prayer. I mean, in there like a hiccup was Keaton Robertson out of that defensive line spot.
Keaton Robertson at 6'2", 204 pounds. That senior came through untouched from the left end from the blind side. And Dallas Chambers just had no chance.
He had no chance, but you know what he did? He hung on to the football. A loss of 8 on the play. Now it brings up a 3rd down and 9 where it was just a 2nd down and 1. So now Hutchinson's going to try to get that back as they try to go to the airway. Give to Barlow right up the middle, right at the 45 of Hutchinson. Gain of about 2 on the play. So 4th down and 6, excuse me, facing the Salt Hawks, and they will punt it away. And back deep again will be that dangerous Christian. He'll set up along on our near side.
Might want to kick it somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be a good idea. Drew Otero is also out there, isn't it? Or is that going to be also Jurgensen back to receive?
Wow, that's strange, but that is Jurgensen.
I think it is too. So Jurgensen on our near side.
Jurgensen, the quarterback for the Maize Eagles.
Christian on the far side. Here comes the punt straight up into the air. A really high one. It takes a Hutchinson bounce, heads toward the sideline. Now it goes back toward Hutchinson, and they'll mark it at about the 34-yard line. So that's where they'll set it up 1st and 10 from. The Eagles will have it from their own 34-yard line with 3:18 to go in the quarter.
That's a net of about 21 yards on the punt, but that's a heck of a lot better than letting one be returned for a TD.
It is, and you had no problem with coverage because that ball went sky high.
It really did.
They had to call Eisenhower Airport to say we got an unidentified flying object over here in Maize straight up in the air. It was such a high punt.
And it also did have the Maize players confused on where it was. And then, next time maybe that hits a Maize player and we can jump on.
Good point, Joe. Again, Joe Blake on the sidelines. Brought to you by Jet Brown's Shoe Fit as well as Papa John's Pizza. All right, Jurgensen, the quarterback, back to pass, looks to his left. Squares up and goes to his right. This time the ball knocked away at the last second. Great effort by Hutchinson's number 22, Maddox Hennehaw.
He had outstanding coverage. He was running stride for stride with the receiver. He turned and looked for the ball at the appropriate time, reached up and just batted it away, so there was no chance for Craven Christian to make that catch.
Yeah, Christian was right on his hip, and Christian looked like he was going to make the catch, and at the very last second, Hennehaw reached up and knocked it away, and ends up being incomplete. 2nd down and 10 now from the Eagles' own 34-yard line.
Maize goes with a no-huddle attack. They look to the sideline to get the play.
Jurgensen sends a man in motion. That's Cox, comes back. He'll hand it off to Cox. Cox around the left side. Now he wants to cut upstream. Gets hit at about the 40, around the 37-yard line. A carry forward to the 49. So a pickup of about 5. 3rd and 5 now facing the Eagles.
Junior Jaime and Dylan Peterson combined to make that tackle.
Cox looked like he was going to have some room around the left side. And all of a sudden he went against the grain and cut up into basically the meat of the onside defense, and he was dropped for only a 5-yard gain. I say only because they've been big gainers. Back to pass. Here comes the blitz. Right side. The catch is made on the outside by a wide receiver. Good enough for the first down. Still on his feet. Till about the 49. And finally the whistle blows, and they'll have the first down. They'll move it into short of Salt Hawk territory. It'll be at the Eagle 49-yard line. Catch was made out there. Who was that? Jordan Cannon.
Emilio Martinez.
Yeah, Emilio Martinez.
I'm sorry, I was moving ahead to make the tackle.
Yeah. Was it Jordan Cannon on the catch, or was it Crockett? Crockett's the wide receiver, number 81.
Yeah, I think it was 81.
I think it was Crockett. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles as they move the chains with 2:04 to go in the quarter. Sling on the outside. Catch is going to be made by the Eagles, and they'll pick up a big yardage up to about inside of Salt Hawk territory to about the 43-yard line. Short of the first down, but a nice catch on the outside by Tanner Carter.
That quick missile pass to the left to the Maize side of the field, and that is Maize version of a power sweep because he had lots of lead blockers lined up in front of him when he caught that pass.
Well, very safe pass. 2nd down and 2, we'll call it. Not 2nd down and 1, but 2nd down and 2. On the Hutch High 43-yard line, Maize and Hutch High territory. To give this time again, to turn to Cox. He's got the first down and more. He's all the way down to the 15 and run out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Nice tackle by the Salt Hawks, number 6 out there. Jack Harver ran him down, but the damage was already done.
Long run for Jack Harver to chase him down from his linebacker position. I tell you what, Coach Yanis, the defensive coordinator, had the perfect blitz lined up with the outside linebacker, Junior Jaime. had a great chance to make a tackle for a loss, but Caden Cox is he's an outstanding running back who's able to get away.
I won't say he has a ton of speed, but he sure has his legs turning. He's a strong, able-bodied runner. If you're going to hit him, you're not going to be able to arm tackle him and bring him down. You're going to have to wrap him up. Here's the turn. Over the right side will be Jurgensen to throw it. And it's thrown in a little bit of traffic. I believe the catch was made, but way short.
Good coverage by safety Emilio Martinez.
Josh McLaughlin on the catch. And he will check out the contest. Gain of 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6 now for the Eagles.
Inside a minute to go in the first quarter. The clock is running.
They'll split out on the right side. Kristen, that wide receiver spot on the right. He'll go with a lone setback, and that will be Cox right behind Jurgensen. Jurgensen in the gun. The turn to give to Cox right side, and Hutchinson wraps him up. Nice job by the Salthawks to snip that one out right there.
Jack Hopper led the charge, blitzing in from his Eagle linebacker position.
Also was Hunter Austin out there to help put some ketchup on the hot dog, huh?
Yeah, and Josiah Morgan did a nice job pursuing it from his defensive end on the other side of the play. He ran all the way across in the backfield and got in on that tackle.
Loss on the play, 3rd down and 9.
Probably last play of the first quarter.
Yep, that will be. 9 seconds to go, so we're going to take us through the second quarter of play. We'll move to the other side of the field, the other end of the field, here at Maize. Again, your score as we go through the second quarter. Maize 21, Hutch High nothing. This is the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
Well, when we were going to the break, Dan, they decided that they got the timeout called right before the end of the quarter, and they're going to go with 0.6 of a second.
Just a little bit of a breeze at their backs coming out of the south.
So they're saying, hey, we wanted to kick here, but you know what? It's 3rd down.
They just wanted to run one more play with the wind at their backs, even though it's not a very strong wind, is it, Joe?
No, it is not. And I think that they're actually trying to get 6 seconds on the board, but clock operator seems to be stuck between 0.6 and 6 seconds.
Yeah,
6 seconds. So hopefully he can find a happy medium.
Yep, I know. I was thinking it was 0.6, and then it's 6, and I think they're going to not go in for the field goal, though.
No,
Dan, they're just going to primarily, it's 3rd down, they're going to throw the football more than likely.
Probably going to throw the ball.
All right, Jurgensen's in there. And now we have a timeout taken by
Hutchinson.
So Hutchinson Salthawks take the timeout. So we'll get a break in as well. I'm fine from some of our fine sponsors. So we'll wait the Eagle try for 3rd down when we return on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
The Kansas State Fair is such an exciting time for us at Pools Plus. Come by our booth and discover all of the savings. All CR Plastics furniture will be marked down during the fair. And as always, you'll find the biggest selection of American Whirlpool spas at all-time low prices. Pools Plus is in the Big Tent, Caddy Corner from Lake Talbot. Voted #1 place to buy a hot tub for the 7th year in a row. You can visit the other places, but why waste your time? Find the same great deals going on in-store at Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Well, a little play of chess out there right now.
Yeah, this football game has turned into a chess match right at the end of the first quarter.
Second quarter score, by the way, Liberal 6. Wichita North nothing. So a quick score right there. Here we get set, and it will be Maize. 3rd down and 9. Ball on the 11-yard line of Hutchinson. Back to pass is Jurgensen. Looks to his left, goes to his left, has a receiver out there. Ball, touchdown is caught. Ball was caught by K.J. Hampton. A wide receiver up there just took it away from the Salt Hawk. Hutchinson had good position. I actually even thought there was a pick for a second, Dan. It's 27-0 Eagles.
Yeah, Jurgensen waited a little bit too long to throw that pass. Seldon Jones recovered, and the ball was coming right at Seldon Jones. However, K.J. Hampton went over Seldon Jones' back to catch that pass for a touchdown.
Here comes the try for the point after. No time on the clock, so it'll show zeros on the box score. Here's the kick. It is up and is on its way, and it is no good. So 27-0 is what your score remains. That is the end of the third quarter. First quarter. We'll take a break as we await the Eagles kickoff to start the second quarter of play. 27-0, Eagles on top. We'll be back with second quarter action coming your way on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
A situation, Dan Nacarado, where Hampton just wanted it more than the Salt Hawk defender, just ripped it away, and a nice touchdown.
Hampton was clear at the back of the end zone waiting for the pass to arrive, and Selden Jones looked like he was ready for the interception, but K.J. Hampton came from behind Selden Jones and just wrestled the ball away from him for the touchdown. Hutchinson gained 45 yards in that first quarter compared to 50 yards for Maize, but Maize obviously got the big punt return for a touchdown, got the fumble return for a touchdown, and they had 134-yard drive, 166-yard drive.
Everything has went their way in that first quarter play, 27-0, all over the Salt Hawks. So see if Hutchinson could bounce back. As we await the Eagle kickoff. McCune deep, they'll scrub it across, and ball goes straight up, and loose football, still loose, right at the 30-yard line. There's a scramble for it, and a lot of Maize kids saying they got it. Let's see what the official call will be, and it will be
Josh McLaughlin.
Football over to Maize.
Josh McLaughlin for the Maize Eagles, the 6-foot, 186-pound senior wide receiver, came up with that football. Kinzer Newquist had the ball kind of ricochet off of him. It was one of those squib kicks, and the ball bounced off of Newquist's leg, went high in the air, and by the time it came down, everybody was fighting for it.
Yeah, everybody was fighting for it. I actually even think he was hit by another Salt Hawk possibly when he was about to get to it. Then there was a loose ball, and there was a scramble for it. And with the ball now at the Hutchinson 31 will be the Eagles. They lead at 27-0 as we started the second quarter of play. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, along with Sarah Peters on the video camera, and again, Joe Blake on the sideline. The throw, catch is made, and a catch is made. A nice spin away. McLaughlin still on his feet, has the first down all the way to the 15-yard line. Josh McLaughlin on the reception. He was wide open.
Same player that was able to cover that kick and come up with the extra possession for Maize. Coach Gary Guzman dials him up to throw to him, and he was wide open in the middle of the field.
Big play action pass by Jurgensen, and McLaughlin caught it. He was wide open. 16-yard pickup. 1st and 10 now from the 15, from Hutch's 15. Let's set a man in motion. That'll be Carter. And Cox, and they check that's Carter. They give it to him, and he can't get out of nowhere. Actually lost on the play.
Selden Jones coming into the backfield to make the tackle for a 6-yard loss. That's Selden Jones getting into the backfield.
And I think he might have been being held at the same time while he was making that tackle, so it was a great play.
Great play right there. So loss of 6. Ball on the 21.
Selden Jones, one of the 4 captains for the Hutchinson Salt Hawks this year, along with Dallas Chambers, Braden Rogers, and Hunter Austin.
2nd and 16 facing the Eagles. Ball on the Hutchinson 21-yard line. Jurgensen in shotgun. He has Cox right behind him. Now he'll send a man in motion, and that'll be McLaughlin. Back to pass, has some time. Now he has to run out of the pocket. Finally throws the football. Catch is made by McLaughlin at the 14-yard line.
Hutchinson came with the blitz. The Maize Eagles offensive line picked it up pretty well and gave Jurgensen just enough time to find McLaughlin.
Yeah, Dylan Peterson on the stop. Or Dylan Peterson, excuse me. And he was able to catch a shoestring, and football is on the 14-yard line. So got some of that yardage back. They had lost 6. They picked up about 7 on the play there. 3rd down and 9. Jurgensen, the quarterback, has Cox back to pass. Goes to the screen on the right side. The catch is made. And some yard after that. Angles for the pylon. Really close to the TD, but they're going to say it's going to be about a yard short.
Brevin Kristen on the reception. I almost said before the snap, look for Maize to run the jailbreak screen, because Maize has a history of when their opponent starts blitzing frequently, they always go to the screen.
Well, they did right there on the right side, and he picked up some nice yardage. He caught it at about the 15. Angled all the way down to the 1, did not get into the end zone, so it brings up a 1st and goal from the 1 with 9:36 and counting to go in the second quarter. The Eagles lead at 27-0. So Jurgensen claps his hands, gets the snap, back to pass across the middle. Catch is made for the touchdown as Christian kind of had a bobble a little bit, but he came up with it and was able to score it. And just like that, it is 33-0 with 9:16 to go in quarter number 2. All Eagles thus far. So they'll split wideouts on the right side this time for the point after, as I think they're going to try to get those missed extra points back.
Well, they frequently line up in a trick-type formation, and you never know whether they're going to kick it or go for it. But I think you're right, Glenn. It looks like they're going for 2 this time.
Sure are. Cox is back there on the right side of the hip of Jurgensen. They'll send a man in motion. That'll be Carter. Wants to throw the football. Has Carter out there. Catch is made. Right flat. Right in front of the Hutchinson defender, which is Peyton Cahoon, and there's 2 on the board. 35-0. Eagles with the lead. We'll await the Eagles kickoff in the second quarter when we return right now after this on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salt Hawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salt Hawks.
Well, it's been all Eagles so far. 9:16 to go in the second quarter of play. Great play to take it all the way down to the 1-yard line, and then you turn around and get the quick pass. They go for 2 in the right flat, and it's 35-0, just like that. Take nothing away from the Eagles. They've earned it, but Hutch has got to regroup a little bit and try to get back into this ball game somehow, some way.
The Maize Eagles, with 35 points, now have 131 yards of total offense, but again, 7 points came on a fumble return of 20 yards for a touchdown, and another 7 points came on a 53-yard punt return for a touchdown, and those plays don't factor into their yards.
Here's another squib kick. It's going to be handled by the Salt Hawks at the 26-yard line. Newquist was kind of squirting with it a little bit, and they decided, nope, we're going to let somebody else take it this time. And
Braden Rogers ended up coming up to cover that one.
Yep, no doubt. Hoiston 20, Nickerson 6. That's at the second quarter score that we wanted to give you. And all right, so the Salt Hawks will get set to try to get something happening here. Down by a score of 35-0. They'll bring them up to the line of scrimmage. That'll be Caden Pennington, the center. The turn, the give straight away, run up the middle, and little or no gain. Ball carrier, Cantu in there, hangs on and gets across the 25 up to about the 27-yard line. Pick up of 2, second down and 8.
Strange things can happen in high school football. Yep. This was a game that Hutchinson just turned the ball over a couple of times early, and Maize pounced all over it to take advantage.
Dallas Chambers, again the quarterback, they'll send a man in motion, gives first man through, picks up a couple yards. So it's going to be third down and 5. Cantu again the ball carrier. Actually, it looked like McEwen at the bottom of the stack. It was McEwen. So McEwen with 2-yard pickup. So they'll mark it at the 30. Third down and 6 facing Hutchinson with 8:21 to go in his first half of play.
Hutchinson has to just stay with their game plan. Whatever they intended to do offensively, they should put the score out of their minds and just go with what they do best.
Chambers down under center. Keeps it, flips it out to McEwen around the right side. He's corralled back there, and little or no gain, even a loss of about 4 on the play. Joe, there's just nowhere to go back there. Great rush there by the Eagle defense. Not sure, Joe, not sure he's able to pick us up down there. So
I hear you.
There you go. There's no place to go. He was able to turn the corner and couldn't just get corner turned.
Yeah, it was 5 Eagles out there before he could really even think about going upfield, and Coach Vernon with a very adamant punt after that third down.
Yep. So
no choice. Have to punt.
They're going to have to kick quickly. As the clock moving along with 7:21 to go. 4th down and a little less than 10.
Good
punt. The punt. Good punt. Going to be taken in at the 34-yard line by the Eagles, and they'll come toward our near side, trying to turn the corner on the outside. That is going to be Jurgensen, the quarterback, on the return all the way across midfield to the Hutchinson side of the 50 down to about the 42-yard line. Nice return by Jurgensen, the quarterback, and did a nice job coming around on our near side.
I just would never have the courage to have my quarterback
return.
Returning
I know
punts.
it. But it was very effective on that situation. So 1st and 10 from the Hutch 42 now.
Very good return
for the young Eagle team. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson, and again Joe Blake on the sidelines, brought to you by Papa John's Pizza and Brown Shoe Fit Company. Don't forget to stay with us at halftime. We'll have the Culligan of Hutchinson Lions and Great Bend USD 308 activity report.
Mays going with a new quarterback.
They sure are. And he's going to keep it around that left side.
That's Bill Parks.
And Avery Johnson was the ball carrier. Bill left this. That's Avery Johnson, quarterback. He is a freshman. 5'11", 141.
That's why he was not on our original roster.
Mm-hmm.
He's number 9, which we did not have on our original roster. Good job, Glenn. You were all over that. Joe Blake was on that in pregame. He had noticed that number 9 was taking some pregame steps.
2nd down and 14 as there was a loss on the play by Avery Johnson. Back out on the play. Johnson still in there. Wants to throw the football. Just about picked off. Illegal. Might have been an illegal procedure call. There's a flag on the play. Incomplete pass is what I was going to say.
Good coverage out there by Jalen Moriasi at his cornerback position.
Johnson's got the long locks just like Dallas Chambers does. Reminds me of one of my favorite football movies. They Remember the Titans Sunshine. They had the long locks. Remember, he came from California?
Yeah, absolutely.
Boy, that's one of my favorite movies.
We study Remember the Titans in our leadership class at Hutchinson Community College, so I watch it every semester.
They declined the penalty to make it 3rd down and long for Hutchinson declined the penalty.
We watched that movie to study teamwork and as a leader, how you Coach Boone and Coach Yost did such a tremendous job with that team in the 1970s.
Coach Boone's been to Kansas before speaking.
Coach Yost passed away this
Coach
year.
Yost actually passed away. You're correct. 3rd down and 14 for the Eagles. Avery Johnson remains in at quarterback. He's in the gun. As Cox right directly behind him. They'll split out wides on both sides. Back to pass. Wants to throw it. He's going to heave it downfield. He's got a receiver out there. The catch is made. Touchdown, Eagles.
Right on the money from the freshman quarterback.
K.J. Hampton caught the ball out about the 15 and took it in. That will be a 54-yard TD. Johnson to Hampton. And it is 41-0 with 6:08 to go, quarter 1. He went for the home run. Hutchinson had a defender out there. He had to fight it away. And Hutchinson getting schooled in coverage a little bit tonight.
Well, that's the second time tonight that K.J. Hampton has wrestled the ball away from a Salt Hawk defender. and made it count for a touchdown for the Maize Eagles.
Jurgensen, the holder for the Eagles. Again, Seagraves, the kicker. The kick is up and on its way, and it is good. 6:08 to go, quarter number 2, 42-0. Eagles on top of the Salt Hawks. This is the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
The medicine shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need, delivered with speed. The lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle. At 14th and Main at the Little White Castle, you'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
Boy, what a catch was made. A 54-yard touchdown pass by the backup quarterback, Avery Johnson, a freshman.
And it was right on the money.
It was right on the money. The catch was made by Hampton, and he took it away from the Salt Hawk defender and took it in from 15 yards out after he made the catch. Yards after catch so big, and they've been huge tonight for the Eagles. 6:08 to go in this quarter.
It's just been a half of football that everything has gone Maize Eagles' way, the way they wanted it, and everything has just been very difficult for the Hutchinson Salt Hawks.
So here we go with the kickoff, and again, McEwen back deep for the Salt Hawks. What a beautiful night tonight. Starting to cool down a little bit. It wasn't hot at all today. Here's a high end-over-end fair catch made at the 31. This was not a deep kickoff. It was made to the 31, but it wasn't a squibber either. So the Hutchinson will have the football. Respectfully, they'll say at the 32-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the 32.
Kinzer Newquist, a very good baseball player at Hutchinson High School.
Yes, he is. Good little shortstop. All right, they'll split a wide out on the right side. Hutchinson will get set. Dallas Chambers. Hutchinson's been able to move the ball when they haven't had the turnover bite them. And pitch on the outside. There's McEwen around the right end this time and has some room and goes out and picks up about 10, maybe 10 and a half. It depends on the spot. It could be a first down.
Well executed rocket toss.
Short, it looks like. They're going to mark it right at the 40. So 2nd and 2. And again, Joe Blake's sideline reports brought to you by Brown's Shoe Fit as well as Papa John's Pizza. Joe, a pretty good run around there.
Yeah, and that was all led by Braden Rogers. He kicked his man outside and opened up a nice lane for Alec McEwen.
Joe Blake on the sidelines brought to you again by Papa John's Pizza. The pitch to McEwen, trying to turn the corner. This time a little loss on the play, or maybe a gain of maybe a half a yard. Let's see what they mark. It'll be 3rd down and little or no gain.
Hutchinson ran the option right from the right hash mark, which is kind of hard to do because you run out of room on the sideline.
You run out of real estate. No doubt about that. 5:12 remaining to go in this second quarter of play. Big 3rd down call here. 3rd and 2. Chambers, the turn to get them to Cantu underneath and goes up to the 44 and gets that first down. So 1st and 10, Hutchinson.
Move those chains. 4:55 to go in the second quarter.
The best thing that can happen to Hutchinson is to travel on down and get a TD right before halftime and take some momentum and some, hey, we can do this into the locker room because there's a whole other half of football to play.
Tight end on the left side, wide receiver on the left side.
Yeah, that's Newquist on the left side. There we give to Cantu up the middle. He banks it in and gets knocked back about a yard, but not after he picked up 5. So 2nd down and 5.
Salt Hawks ran the option to the left that time. That's called midline, by the way. The fullback almost goes straight ahead, and then the quarterback, if he doesn't give the ball to the fullback, the quarterback will run to the left, and then he has a slot back that he can pitch it to if he needs to.
The 2 slots in there, McEwen along with Rogers. They'll split Newquist out on the left side. Dallas Chambers, the quarterback. The turn, the give straight away, right up the middle. Cantu stretches the ball out to the 45-yard line. I think he has a first down.
Same play. Ran it successfully. The way the Maize Eagles have been lining up is they have a defensive lineman over each guard and no one over the center, and that's why that play should pick up some yards going right behind the center.
So they'll move it to the 46, 1st and 10 Salt Hawks, and Cantu starting to get some big pick up of real estate.
But look at the linebackers come up.
Exactly. Now they come up and crowd the line a little bit. The pitch on the outside. Then McEwen tries to turn the quarter. He's hit after a pickup of about 3 yards. And, boy, they really go to the ball quick after the first contact is made.
Maize Eagles put 10 defenders within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage that
they'll
time.
stack the box, won't they?
And just said, hey, we think you're probably going to try to run it, and we're going to have more guys here than you can block.
3:16 to go. Gain of 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8. Ball at the 44 for Hutchinson at the Maize Eagles 44. Newquist splits wide left. Rogers at the R slot. McEwen at that L slot. Cantu at the tailback slot. The turn to get to McHugh. Gets some room. He's across the 40 down to the 35. All the way down. They'll mark it right at the 35-yard line, I believe, or maybe a little bit farther. They'll mark it at the 34. Nice run. They'll move the chains again, and Hutchinson's moving the football now.
Very well blocked and a great job running by Alec McEwen.
All right, Newquist again split wide left. Hutchinson will put one in the corner on the right side. Back. Keeping it on the outer perimeter. The pitch now, a late pitch, but they get the corner turn, and they'll keep the clock moving. It's about at the 27-yard line, I believe. 26-yard line is where they're going to mark it.
2:15 to go in the first half.
That was Rogers on the carry. So they'll move it to the 26.
When teams run the option the way Hutchinson just did on that last play, it's a thing of beauty to watch. Everybody doing their job.
And it was Rogers turning the corner right there.
Inside of 2 minutes in the second quarter.
The ball split right side. Back to McEwen. McEwen has some room, gets across the 20, down to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Hutchinson.
That's a 26-yard touchdown scamper.
McEwen turned that right side and took it into the end zone, picked up a block at about the 15-yard line and said, we'll see you. We're going to get some points on the board with 1:41 to go in the second quarter. It's 42-6. Hutchinson trails in a big way, but they got some points on the board, Dan.
And give Isaac Duvall a heck of a lot of credit from his wide receiver position because he maintained his block for a very long time.
Villarreal coming from way down where he was practicing kicking at about the 30 out of bounds to try the extra point here. Here's a high snap, and the kick is on its way. It is up, and it is good. And Hutchinson's on the board with 7. 42-7 your score with 1:41 to go in the second quarter of play. Eagles on top, but Hutchinson has scored to make it a little bit closer. We'll take a timeout and wait for the Salt Hawk kickoff. This is the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Are you ready for a new smartphone, but you need a plus one? It's buy one, get one free time at Next Tech Wireless. Activate any device and receive an iPhone XR or Samsung Galaxy S10e for free. Swing by a Next Tech Wireless store today. Make the switch, get a great phone, and get a second great phone free. Oh, don't forget you'll get high-speed unlimited data and the best coverage, too. Besides, what's better than a new smartphone? Well, that would be getting a second one for free. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
They took the fair catch off the kickoff and just drove it down. Typical Salt Hawk football right there, the way they drove it right on down and took it in. A nice run around that right side by McEwen for the touchdown.
Hutchinson showed they're capable of executing an impressive drive.
Salt Hawk football on KWBW, Hutchinson, Kansas. And we're going to have the quick kick,
the reason
but
I'm
we stumbled.
It's the stampede where the whole team gets in a tight bunch and everybody runs to the football quickly. And unfortunately,
but you can't trip over the 40-yard line.
Yeah, unfortunately, Emilio Martinez lost his balance and
offside.
That's an offsides penalty.
So Hutchinson will re-kick this time from their own 35. Now there's a line right at the Hutchinson 45 by the Eagles, as they're thinking it's going to be
That time they did the fake stampede properly.
It's going to be an onside kick, and let's see if they change their mind or not as we get sick.
Ryan Avey is joining us in the press box, the outstanding principal at Hutchinson High School.
It will be an onside little pooch kick. It's going to be taken for a fair catch called at about the 38-yard line. So the Eagles will set up shop there with 1:41 to go before intermission.
Went to the sure-handed Josh McLaughlin. He's pretty reliable.
I wonder if Mr. Avey can call games just as good as his dad can, because I've known his dad forever out there in Jetmore. And taught at Dodge City Community College.
Really?
Yes. And was a state representative as well in latter years. So, yeah, I know his dad well. Knew his mom, too. His mom was a nurse at a clinic I used to call on. So, there you go, huh?
You are very well connected.
I'm well connected. Here we go. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. He'll be Dan's halftime guest. He's back in there again. It's going to be Johnson, the quarterback. An incomplete pass. This time he bounced past it on the outside of McLaughlin. And an incomplete pass sets up a 2nd down and 10 from the 38 with 1:36 to go for the Eagles. They lead it in a big way, 42-7, but the Salthawks were able to get on the board a little while ago with a 26-yard touchdown run by McEwen.
Goes as an incomplete pass that time to McLaughlin, but he showed what good hands he has as he caught the ball on the short hop. It's just, it bounced to him.
Before we talk to Mr. Avey, we'll have Sarah Peterson's USD 308 activity report brought to you by Culligan Water of Hutchinson, Great Bend, and Lyons. All right, Johnson, the quarterback, Avery Johnson in there, a freshman for the Eagles, came in and threw a touchdown pass a little while ago, and now a little bit too much time. Timeout's going to be taken by the Eagles. As Coach Guzman wants to talk things over. We'll get a quick break in. 1:36 to go in this second quarter of play. 42-7, Eagles on top of the Salthawks. This is the Salthawk Radio Network.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. The tax filing deadline is October the 15th, and the office at 29 West 2nd, downtown Hutchinson, is open Monday through Friday from 10 till 5. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Walk in or call 662-5321 to schedule your appointment today.
Good evening, everybody. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peters on the video photography, and Joe Blake on the sidelines. We'll go to Joe here in a second with 1:36 to go. By the way, Joe Blake's sideline report's brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit, as well as Papa John's Pizza. Let's see here. 1st and 10. Guzman wanted to talk things over. Didn't like what he saw out of the defense or maybe out of his offense. And here Avery Johnson gives it off, running play around the outside, trying to get something done, trying to turn the corner on the outer perimeter. Is Cox. He's across the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown, but a flag on the play back at the 35-yard line. Might bring this one back. 62 yards on the TD, but let's see if it comes all the way back, because Cox turned that corner, and somebody might have been holding out on the outer edge there.
Caden Cox showed some speed when he turned that corner.
Yes, he did.
Again, he's the Kansas Jayhawk recruit to play football at Lawrence next year.
And one of the fans there said do it again, and he just might. But the flag laying aimlessly at the 35 pulls that one back. Otherwise, there would have been another 6 for the Eagles.
Caden Cox might need a little bit of a breather. I'm not sure he's quite ready to do that right away.
Yeah, they'll mark it back at the 25-yard line.
That's a big penalty.
That's a big one. 2nd down and 23 from the 25 for the Eagles of Maize. 1:21 to go in this first half of play. Stay tuned at halftime. We'll have a little timeout. The Medicine Shop in-game capsule brought to you by the Medicine Shop, 14th and Main in Hutchinson. Then we'll have the USD 308 activity report brought to you by Culligan Water of Hutchinson, Lyons, and Great Bend. All right, Johnson, the quarterback, slaps his hands to turn again to Cox. Same play around the right side, and this time it's sniffed out, and he has dropped at about the 25-yard line. Kind of had his feet tangled up a little bit, and clock will move away with 1:10 to go before halftime, and now another timeout taken, or what do we have? It will be a timeout taken, and this time I believe it is going to be the Salthawks taking the timeout. 1:01 to go in quarter number 2. 42-7. Hutchinson trails the Eagles. We'll be back with more on the Salt Hawk Radio Network on KWW Hutchinson, Kansas, right after this quick timeout on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, the Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
Well, let's see what Hutchinson has drawn up here. They took the time out. They put some time back on the clock. I said 1:01. It's 1:13 now, Dan. And let's see what they're going to do here.
Coach Vernon sees that 3rd down and 23 and feels like, hey, let's try to get the ball one more time and see if we can make another score before we go into the locker room at halftime.
So it will be 3rd down and a whole long ways. 3rd and 23 from the 25. Eagles' own 25. Johnson still in their quarterback again. He is a freshman. Slaps his hand, back to pass, dumps it on the outside. A catch is made by Carter, and he's off to the races. Across the 50, to the 40, cuts back inside to the 30 now, and finally dropped right there by Hutchinson's Cahoon.
Well, once again, Hutchinson had dialed up the blitz coming from the side of the field that the Maize Eagles, their sideline, and Maize had the perfect play call to beat the blitz.
Young Mr. Avery Johnson's came in here and picked up some yards on a couple big passes. Big gain right there. They go to right side. Has a receiver. Open touchdown, Maize. The catch was made by Pregame Christian. He has 2 touchdowns on the night, and that one was a pretty pass from Johnson. Tell you what, he's a pretty good quarterback. That one all the way down from the 34-yard line. So a 34-yard touchdown pass. Johnson again to Christian. 40 seconds left to go in this first half of play. It is 48-7. Hutchinson just shell-shocked, as are the fans on that far east side, not to mention the coaching staff and especially the players. Jurgensen will hold. Here's the point after kick. It is up and on its way, and it is good. And with 40.8 seconds to go in the half, it is 49-7, all Maize Eagles. You listen to Salt Hawk Football on KWW Hutchinson. We'll be back with more on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're first for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, Dan, a pretty good pass right there, 34 yards. Johnson to, again, Christian, and all of a sudden it is 49-7.
Remember the name Avery Johnson.
Oh, my God.
A freshman. He looks like he's a seasoned varsity player.
Really accurate on the throw, and he has came in here and thrown for some yards. Jurgensen's okay. There was no problem.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of
the
starting quarterback. You're going to keep him. But Johnson's saying, hey, you know what? Look at me, coach. I'm only a freshman. Look what I can do. So Seagraves will tow it up. Salt Hawks will again have McEwen back. The up backs are going to be Rogers. And again, Newquist back on that 45. Hutchinson expecting the onside. And there's a little pooch kick. Fair catch taken by Newquist right at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Hutchinson from there with 40 seconds remaining to go. 40.8 to be exact in this first half of play.
Hutchinson either has one timeout left or no timeouts. I can't remember which. But you wouldn't think they would do anything too risky in this situation.
All right, the break huddle. And now we get set. Dallas Chambers, the quarterback, senior for the Salt Hawks, has McEwen on his left and Rogers on his right. Cantu in the backfield. The rocket pitch on the outside of Ken to McHugh, and tries to turn the corner, picks up about a yard.
Well defended by Maize.
Yeah, it really was. They were able to get to the edge now. Was that Rogers got up a little limpy right there, so see if he's going to be okay. Clock moving with 19 seconds remaining to go in the second quarter.
Could be the last snap of the half.
Now it's down to 10, and this should be the last snap of the half. Chambers, the quarterback. Loose football, and I think Hutchinson got on it, as there's no time on the clock anyway, so I think that is going to be the last play. It was really a low snap. I think Maize came out with it, but I believe that's going to be the last snap of the half, and it will be. Kind of fitting that Hutchinson actually coughed up the football there because they've had some problems in this first half. We'll come back and talk about it. 49-7, your halftime score. We will take a 2-minute timeout. Get set for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule. Again, your score from Maize. Maize 49, Hutchinson 7. We'll be back in 2 minutes on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salt Hawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
The Kansas State Fair is such an exciting time for us at Pools Plus. Come by our booth and discover all of the savings. All CR Plastics furniture will be marked down during the fair. And as always, you'll find the biggest selection of American Whirlpool spas at all-time low prices. Pools Plus is in the Big Tent, Caddy Corner from Lake Talbot. Voted #1 place to buy a hot tub for the 7th year in a row. You can visit the other places, but why waste your time? Find the same great deals going on in-store at Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, the Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Apple Lane Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
Thanks a lot, Mark Atkins. Mark Atkins doing all the chief engineer work tonight back at the BW Studios at halftime. It is 49-7. Eagles of Maize with the lead over the Salt Hawks. It is time at the Medicine Shop. In-game capsule brought to you by that Little White Castle at 14th and Main. The Medicine Shop, boy, they've been around for so long. And, of course, they deliver as well. With coming up here in about 2 months will be the Medicare Part D decisions that a lot of people will have to make. And, hey, take your medications in there. They'll plug everything in the computer and tell you what the best program in Kansas is and try to save you some money. Also, they'll help with delivery. They'll help counsel you as well and help you decide what is best for you. You got great over-the-counter products as well. Just a great staff. And don't forget about those pneumonia shots. Flu shots coming up, too. Don't forget about that, as well as also Shingrix vaccine and also, again, pneumonia vaccine. Dan, not a pretty picture, not as pretty as that harvest moon that's coming up over there in the east right now, full moon.
Friday the 13th, full moon.
It has felt like Friday the 13th for the Salt Hawks. Before we could even get set down again for the second straight week, they had a defensive touchdown. They had a kick return for a touchdown. The Eagles just, everything was working right for the Eagles.
It was a very good first half of football for the Maize Eagles indeed. And you have to tip your cap. Quarterback Camden Jurgensen, 13 of 14 on passing accuracy for 167 yards and 4 touchdown passes in that first half of the Maize Eagles. On the receiving end, Previn Kristen caught 2 touchdown passes. Josh McLaughlin caught caught a pass. KJ Hampton also caught 2 touchdown passes. So it was 2 touchdown passes for Previn Kristen, 2 touchdown receptions for KJ Hampton, 4 touchdowns by way of the pass. When you look at total yards, Maize outgained Hutchinson 248 yards to 115, but also some hidden yards on punt returns, 81 yards of punt returns that really set
the big ones for the TD as well, right away that set the tone for the beginning. But I was impressed again with the freshmen that did such a good job. That is your Medicine Shop in-game capsule brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main. Give them a try, give them a call, and they'll deliver. They'll really help you with your pharmaceutical needs and help you with counseling as you might need it. The Medicine Shop in Hutchinson. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout, get set for the Culligan in-game Culligan Water of Hutchinson USD 308 activity report. We will be back right after this on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salt Hawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salt Hawks.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. We're at halftime, 49-7. Salt Hawks trail the Eagles of Maize. It's time for the Culligan Conditioning Water of Hutchinson, Lions, and Great Bend. They're located at 101 West Avenue E in Hutchinson. It's time for the activity report brought to you by Culligan Water. Say, hey, Culligan, and give them a call, 669-9375. And with your activity report, here is Sarah Peterson.
Hi, Salt Hawk fans. Here are your Hutch High athletic activity report for this upcoming week. Saturday, boys soccer varsity invitational will be at Goddard. That time will be announced later. Tennis JV girls are playing at Valley Center at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And the volleyball freshman tournament starts at 7 a.m. at the Salt Hawk Activity Center. On Monday, Salt Hawk Girls Varsity Invitational is at 3 o'clock in Hayesville campus. Football freshman game is against Maize at Gowan Stadium, as well as the JV football game, and that starts at 6. Tuesday, September 17th, the girls golf varsity will be away at 3 p.m. in Newton. Soccer boys JV game is at 5 o'clock in Eisenhower. Salt Hawk volleyball varsity is away at Maize, and it's a triangular. Volleyball JV triangular is at Maize as well. Soccer boys varsity game starts at 6:30 and is at Eisenhower. On Thursday, girls JV golf tournament starts at 1 p.m. at Salina South. Golf varsity girls tournament starts at 3 at Eisenhower. Tennis girl varsity invitational is away at Derby, and that starts at 3 p.m. Tennis JV girls are away at Andover, and that starts at 3 as well. Soccer's boys JV game starts at 5 p.m. and is away at Goddard, as well as the varsity game for soccer boys. And to finish out the week will be the varsity game for football away at Garden City, and that starts at 7 p.m.
And that is your USD 308 activity report brought to you by Culligan Water Conditioning of Hutchinson, Lions, and Great Bend. 101 West Avenue E is their address in Hutchinson. Give them a call, 669-9375. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout and get situated, and Dan will have his halftime report. Again, 49-7 at halftime. Hutchinson trailing the Eagles of Maize. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salt Hawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
We're glad to be with you at Maize High School tonight, and I'm delighted to be joined in the press box by Principal Ryan Avey. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate the invitation.
Well, you're always welcome anytime, anywhere. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You haven't been principal very long at Hutchinson High School.
No, this is my 5th year at the high school. For 4 years, I was assistant principal there. 3 years prior to that, I was a teacher at the 8th grade building there in Hutchinson. This is my first year as a principal at Hutchinson High School. I grew up in Jetmore, Kansas. You guys kind of mentioned that earlier. My dad worked at the college at Dodge for many, many years, and he actually taught radio broadcasting. We spent many evenings watching the Dodge City Conquistadors up in the broadcasting booth. I kind of know the protocol, and you got to come in and be quiet. And so
you're a natural at this.
Yeah, well, it just takes me back to those days. My parents, I grew up in Jetmore. Both my parents were in education.
Jetmore's not too far from Dodge City.
Right, Dan. It's 26 miles north of Dodge. Going to Dodge was kind of like going to the city, we called it. That's where you had to go to get all your goods and stuff. But I grew up there, graduated from Jetmore High School, and now that's been combined with Hanston and Hodgman County High School. But grew up there, went to Dodge City Community College to play football, played there for 2 years, went to Fort Hays State. That's where I played 1 year for the Tigers, and then I ultimately graduated from Fort Hays with my elementary ed degree, certified K through 9, started teaching elementary school, eventually taught middle school. I tell people it's kind of unique. I've taught elementary, middle school. I even did 2-year stint at Dodge City Community College right before I came to Hutchinson. So, and now at the high school. So I've been at pretty much every level except the 4-year university at my time, and 22 years in education. So it's been quite the experience.
Education is in your DNA, apparently, because you've been helping people learn at every age group.
Yeah.
When did you decide that you wanted to get into education?
That's a good question. I kind of pinpoint it to 6th grade. Fred Dirksen, I'm going to name drop there a little bit. He was my 6th grade teacher. He was also our middle school football coach, and Fred now is the superintendent. He was the superintendent at Sterling, and now he's a superintendent at Dodge City Community College. And Fred has been a great teacher, a good mentor, and now a good friend. I don't see Fred that often, but I think he just inspired me really to get into education. Of course, I had aunts and uncles, my mom and dad. So like you said, it's kind of, my mom ran a preschool out of our basement for many years. Yeah. So
you've just been around people that want to learn ever since you can remember.
Right. Absolutely. It's kind of been a passion for me.
And you've been at Hutchinson for
this is my 8th year.
8th year between the middle school and the high school.
Right.
What brought you to Hutchinson?
Well, really, like I said, I'd been in public education, and then I'd done a 2-year stint there at college at Dodge, and I kind of wanted to get back into public education. At Hutch, I was at Andover for a while, and I actually knew Kevin Armstrong when I was an athletic director at Andover, and had a pretty good relationship with Kevin. I knew Kevin was there, and I knew he was.
Man.
Yeah, and so that was kind of, not that Kevin recruited me. I didn't call Kevin. I just knew he was there, and I applied. And Michael Elligood, who's now the principal at Bueller High School, hired me, and I was thankful for that, and real grateful for my time so far that I've had at Hutch.
Well, we're glad that you're here with us in the center of the Garden Spot of the universe, also known as Hutchinson, Kansas, USA, Earth's Milky Way.
Right.
What do you like most about your role as principal? What do you look forward to as you go to school each morning?
Well, it's kind of like what I mentioned earlier. I even talked to my girls. I have 3 daughters, and I talked to them about having a passion. Find a passion for what you love to do, and because you spend the majority of your time at work. So find something you enjoy, find something you love. And as I mentioned earlier, I've always had a passion for helping kids. I like to come in, and I can't think of a more honorable profession than helping kids learn, become responsible, productive citizens. Every day is a kind of a new challenge. It's kind of, sometimes you do a lot of problem solving on the fly, and so I just like that. I really believe in something called, and Ron Ream also kind of was an advocate of this, and I kind of learned it from him, something called servant leadership. How do you help teachers? How do you help students give them what they need to be successful? And I really take pride in trying to do that each and every day.
Well, you're making a difference. We really appreciate appreciate what you're doing for USD 308 and Hutchinson High School. You talked to middle. You mentioned you have 3 daughters. What ages are they?
I've got 2 middle school daughters. I got a daughter that is in college at WSU in clinical psychology. My wife Megan is a school counselor. So she's also in education. So when we go home at night, we try not to talk about work, but it kind of dominates what we do in our in our professional life. So sometimes we try to not bring it home. But
it's the family business.
It is the family business. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're talking to Hutchinson High School Principal Ryan Avey. I'm Coach Knack. As we almost finish our halftime opportunity to visit, would you like to just take a few seconds to talk directly to parents of high school students?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like what I was mentioning with my own family. I mean, families are busy. Every year there's new challenges in society and within our families. And I think really just taking the time to connect. I tell parents a lot when I was an assistant principal role, when I reach out to parents, and even now, we're all in this together. And I know that sounds cliche, but we really are the parents, the teachers, the administration. We all have the students' best interest at heart. Let's all work together, gather our resources to get involved and help them be successful. And again, that's easier said than done. But especially when you talk about grandparents and parents, get involved, sit down with your kids, find out what's going on in their life, get involved. I find with my own kids, I've got to ask very specific questions, or I get vague answers. So go to things, help out, get involved. And like I said, we all are in this together. We all have the same mission, which is, better in the next generation and help them be successful.
This is Hutchinson High School Principal Ryan Avey. Thank you very much for coming up to the press box and visiting with us. We'll look forward to seeing you throughout the season and around Hutch High School and around the community.
Yeah, absolutely, and I appreciate the opportunity, and I want to thank you guys for what you do, coming out and putting on the games on the radio. Like I said, I lived that in my childhood. I know it can be a thankless task, but we appreciate, or I should say, I appreciate what you do. So thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure. You're very welcome. We'll be back in 1 minute to get ready for the start of the third quarter.
Are you ready for a new smartphone, but you need a plus one? It's buy one, get one free time at Next Tech Wireless. Activate any device and receive an iPhone XR or Samsung Galaxy S10e for free. Swing by a Next Tech Wireless store today. Make the switch, get a great phone, and get a second great phone free. Oh, don't forget you'll get high-speed unlimited data and the best coverage, too. Besides, what's better than a new smartphone? Well, that would be getting a second one for free. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Well, welcome back to Maize. We're going set for the second half of play. It was all Maize in the first half, folks. We gave you the Medicine Shop in Castle, but yeah, I guess you had to be watching on Salt Hawk Sports YouTube or on the NFHS network to see what was happening there. But boy, I tell you what, you get a true, I say true freshman. You use that term in college.
They don't usually redshirt.
No, they usually don't redshirt them in high school, but. Came in and he did not blink, and he just set it up right when you thought, okay, Hutch might have an opportunity here to get something going after they got it back around, and all of a sudden, boom, they were able to put some more points on the board, and I was impressed by him.
Well, certainly the Maize Eagles have looking down the road. They know they've got a quarterback. As long as he doesn't move away, they've got a quarterback ready to step in after the graduation of Camden Jurgensen.
Yeah, exactly. And again, they lost Mr. Grill, but they haven't lost much. Is very impressed with the Eagles. Now they won last week 49-0. Right now it's 49-7. So they're kind of on a roll right now, and they did a great job in the first half. Lots of good positive yardage. 248 total yards on only 25 plays. when you look at that. It just really stands out. But give Hutchinson credit. It rolled right down the field, got into the end zone, and that's a big plus right there. I'm sure that Coach Vernon was saying, guys, you just gotta not have the turnovers, and we can take the football every time we get it. But also when they have it, we got to stop them. But we can get back in this ball game if it gives us a chance.
Yep, this is one of those occasions where you have to block the scoreboard out of your mind, and you just have to go out and take snaps from centers and go out and do your job and make plays.
All right, Hutchinson will kick off to start this second half of play. We'll try to give you some other scores that are going on around the area. Go down the sidelines also to my good friend Joe Blake. Joe Blake's comments brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit and also Papa John's Pizza. A tough first half, Joe. We'll see if we can get back in this thing.
Yes, sir. And, we've got a lot of thing going on among coaches and players. Hopefully they can find a way to get a little pop down here.
Try to get back in it as well. Joe's comments, again, brought to you by Papa John's Pizza and Brown Shoe Fit. If you're at the fair, stop in to see the Brown Shoe Fit booth. It's in the Sunflower South building on the west wall. And stop in there and take a look. They've got some good, I tell you what, I love the socks. I remember how Rusty I was talking about the socks, and they got some fantastic little socks. So we're about set to get underway. Here's the kickoff by Villarreal. He'll do a little pooch kick, and it's going to be caught by one of the Eagles over there on the far side at about the 37-yard line, so they'll have the ball 1st and 10 right there. Not a pure onside, Dan, the kind that we're used to where it's end over end and takes the big hop, but that one was like a pooch kick, kind of caught from behind by one of the players, and it'll be 1st and 10. By the way, I have a score. Cheney 28, Conway Springs 7, so Cheney on the board tonight. And here we get set. It will be the Eagles. Let's see who they send out a quarterback, as again, they started Jurgensen, a senior quarterback, and he will remain in there. He will return to the lineup and be your starter for the second half. But he's probably going to want to get something done. What do you think? Because he was watching from the sidelines as well. So they'll get set, and we're about set to get underway in the second half of play. Left to right, the Eagles will be going. And don't forget also, we're available on YouTube on the Salt Hawk Sports YouTube channel. There's a turn and a give right up the middle. And it will be Jurgensen on the keep. He kept it a little quarterback keeper, picked up about 4 yards, or a little bit more, 6 yards, second down and 4. How about that? Jurgensen right up the middle.
Yeah, he was reading, it looked like that time. But typically, Maize doesn't run a lot of read-type plays. They run what's called a counter tray, and they pass the ball a lot. But that time looked like had a little bit of a read the defensive tackle
Twins
play.
Left and right. Hampton in the slot on that right side. And on pursuit for the Sunhawks, and turning the corner is going to be Jurgensen, and he is off to the races. Finally ran out of downs really close to the 27-yard line of Hutchinson, and he just reeled off some big yardage from the 44 to the 27 once he turned that corner.
He broke a tackle deep in the backfield, and once he broke that tackle, he found the sideline and showed some speed.
30-yard pickup, 1st and 10 from the 26 of Hutchinson. Just starting play in this third period of play. If you haven't joined us, they quickly got a strip for a touchdown, a 46-yard return on a punt return for a touchdown, and another pick for a touchdown, and Hutch was in the hole quickly, 21-0. Little snap on the outside trying to turn the corner on that right side is going to be Levi Drum, and he'll be thrown for a loss on the play. Actually, take that away. That was Creven Christen on the carry.
Really nice defensive play by Devin Hackney and Emilio Martinez to make the stop.
So a loss of 4 on the play. Hutchinson pursued nicely on that left side that time, as you indicated, to get that stop made. And now they'll set up again. Second down and 14 for the Maize Eagles. Here's Jurgensen. Keeps it himself, wants to throw it across the body. Catch is not made. He intended receiver was Hampton on that far side, just in and out of his hands. He might have been off to the races if he'd made the catch because he had to step on the defender, but incomplete it falls, and 3rd down and 15 facing the Eagles.
Excellent coverage by Taven Smith, who made a nice play or two in that first half.
So Jurgensen looks to the bench to get the play. He'll split a wide out on the left side of McLaughlin. He's had a good game. They'll also put in the slot will be Hampton on the left side again. And they'll split out wide on the right side, Christian. So Single running back in the backfield will be Cox. He'll be over on his right side of him. Boy, you have Jurgensen and Cox out there, and then you have a backup in Avery Johnson. Back to pass is Jurgensen across the middle. Catch is made by Cox right at the 20. He falls forward to about the 16-yard line. Two Salthawks converge and make the stop for Hutchinson. Nice stop by Peterson out there at the outside linebacker spot.
Play action pass. They faked the handoff to Caden Cox, and then he snuck a few yards downfield right in the middle of the field, made the catch in traffic, and then got some yards after the catch.
Picked up 3 more after the catch to the 17. 1st and 10, Eagles from the Hutchinson 17. Clock moving along, 10 minutes remaining to go in this third period of play. Now Jurgensen turns and said something to Cox, and Cox will stand up about 2 feet behind him. They'll send a man in motion to give to Cox straight up the middle, angles, bounces inside, puts his head down, and gets across the 15 down to about the 12-yard line. Let's see where they officially mark it. Looks like it's going to be right at the 12, so 2nd down and 5.
Those were tough yards picked up by Caden Cox.
Cox kind of looking for his hole and saw nothing was there, put his head down and burrowed forward. 2nd down and 5 for the Eagles.
Caden Cox did show us a 68-yard touchdown run in that first half, but it was called back due to a holding penalty.
They showed us just about everything. 9:13 to go here in the third. 49-7. Hutchinson trailing the Eagles. Give again up the middle. Cox busts forward across the 10 down to about the 7-yard line, carrying a couple of Salthawks with him. Coming up out of the defensive set to make the stop was Taven Smith. And Jones on a stop as well.
Here's the coach Guzman is going to Caden Cox frequently on this drive, and he would like to have the senior score a touchdown.
1st down now, 1st and goal from the 7. Cox will dot the I. Shotgun formation for Jurgensen. Gives to Cox again, why not? All the way down to the 6-yard line. Picked up maybe a yard on the play.
Caden Cox did score 1 touchdown in the first half. And as we said, could have had another one, but it was called back due to a holding penalty.
Hunter Austin comes up out of that Hawk linebacker spot to make the stop. Well, I'm impressed with the Eagles. They struck quickly. Now, again, part of it was turnovers, but you get the punt return, and then you get the long pass, a 46-yard long touchdown pass. Hampton out there also was extremely impressed with number 22, Christian. Shows some speed. Back to pass, running for his life is Jurgensen around that left side. Finally throws the ball in and out of the hands in the end zone. Incomplete pass. Good coverage out there by Taven Smith. Hutchinson was on the run to try to get him. Now, that's the toughest throw in football. When you're running to your left and your right-hand quarterback, he actually turned his body completely to the sideline and tried to make the throw. It was incomplete. So 3rd down and goal again from the 7.
2 defensive tackles for the Hutchinson Salthawks chasing Jurgensen down. That was 62 Isaiah Phillips and 88 Josiah Morgan.
Christians splits wide to the left side. Over on the right side will be Carter. Slot man will be Hampton. Over the right side, it catches May. Oh, no, incomplete as they try to go to McLaughlin. Into out of his hands, and again, that was a little double screen over there they tried to set up.
And once again, it was on a defensive blitz coming from the linebacker that time. When the Maize Eagles can call that play against the blitz, it's usually a successful play for them. Dylan Peterson had outstanding man-to-man coverage.
4th and 7, they'll kick the field goal here.
26-yarder, a little bit against the wind.
Thank you, Joe. 26-yarder. Joe's comments brought to you by Papa John's Pizza, as well as Brown Shoe Fit. Here's a kicking up and on its way, and it is good. So 52-7 now, the lead for the Eagles with 7:43 to go in this third period of play. We'll be back with the Eagle Kickoff when we return on the Salthawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Apple Lane Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
42-7. Hutchinson trailing the Eagles. Eagles will kick off. I think you got a Garden City score for us. Joe Blake, what do you got?
Yes, Garden City, who we play next week, is leading Valley Center 24-12 at the half.
24-7? Was that what it was?
To 12.
To 12. 24-12. Thank you very much.
Sarah Peterson has the score. Derby is up on Salina Central 42-0.
42-0 on Salina Central right there. So Dark Valley strong with the whack, doing a good job with Garden City. Going to Valley Center. Right here, it's been all Eagles tonight. 52-7 on top of Hutchinson with 7:43 to go here in the third period of play, as we'll have the Eagle kickoff.
Significance of that 45-point lead is if that holds up as we head to the fourth quarter, it'll be a running clock.
Here's the kickoff, and it's a good one, but taken at the 9-yard line. This time, one of the shorter kick because they've been putting it in the end zone, keeping it. Will be the Salt Hawks trying to get the corner turn. Will be Brenton Burns, and he'll be stopped at the 20. So same results as you would have with a touchdown, but with the football will be Hutchinson.
Good kick coverage.
So Hutch will set up now on their own 20-yard line. 1st and 10 they'll have it with 7:34 to go here in the third period of play. I want to invite you to join myself and Rob Dreher coming up on Monday night for Reno County Coaches Corner and more right here on BW. Right after Dragon Talk with Ryan Rhodes at 6 p.m. as well. Dallas Chambers under center, gives it off. A little trip up right there as he gave it off to Cantu, and he just tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Couldn't get anywhere. Picked up maybe 2, second down and a long 8. Hutchinson trying to, and they did have a good drive in that first half, trying to get another drive going here with 7:12 to go. Down under center. The turn, keeps it, gives it on the outside of McEwen on the pitch. McEwen turns the corner. He has one touchdown like that, gets the first down across the 30, right at the 30-yard line. I think it's enough for the move the chains, and yes, they will. So Hutchinson very effective when they run that pitch on the outside, especially with McEwen, as McEwen was able to turn the corner and really get something done. McEwen, 5'9", 180.
Good lead blocks by Braden Rogers and also Isaiah Duvall out at the wide receiver position.
All right, 1st and 10 now for Hutchinson on their own 30-yard line. Chambers, he swallowed up loose football. Maize is on top of it. Another turnover will give the ball over to the Eagles. He was going to keep it, and then all of a sudden his feet went out from underneath him, and away the ball went, and he had no chance to get to it. Eagles pounce on it. And Gilroy picks up the loose ball. So you were right in front of that, Joe. He just really didn't have it cleanly from the snap.
Yeah, a little confusion on the read option there, and led to the ball on the turf, and Jackson Gilroy was ready to pounce on it.
Yeah, and he did. Again, with that read option, you got to be able to put that football away and just stripped away from him. Now we're going to see if we have a whole new set of offensive players coming in, and I believe we will. We'll have a new quarterback again, this time for Maize, and Cox is check that, another new running back as well, as Tatum Gregg will be in there to tailback position. Looks to me like Isaac Stanton, who is a junior, will be the signal caller. Stanton gives the ball off, and a whole host of defensive players meet young his number 35 out there, Tatum Gregg.
Junior Jaime and Dylan Peterson came from their outside linebacker positions in a hurry to throw him for a loss.
Actually, that was Cox that came back in there, and that's who got thrown for the play, and he will check out now. It was Brandon Cox. I thought it was 35. It was 25. So now they'll set up with a new running back out back there. That's going to be Cale Moses at running back. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 133. Back to pass is Maize. Incomplete pass on that far side. Isaac Stanton going to his left, incomplete. Brings up second down and long. Actually, should be third and 13, yes.
Right. First down was the thrown for loss.
Well, a whole host of different quarterbacks getting an opportunity for Maize tonight, and that's what you do when you're up 52-7.
And Hutchinson's going to pull it together. They're going to be a much better football team as we move further into the season. they've just had the turnover bug bite them so hard last week and again tonight. They've lost 3 fumbles.
All right. High snap, and is brought down. Here's the throw right there outside. Catch is made at the 25 by the Maize Eagles. They'll fall forward, and the catch is made out there by Clayton Crockett out of the hands of Isaac Stanton for the nice gainer, but it's 4th down now.
Sophomore to sophomore.
Took it all the way to the 24.
I stand corrected. Stanton is a junior.
Stanton's a junior, yes. Isaac Stanton, a junior. He's still in there at quarterback. That's been a wide out on the right side, and they definitely have some backups there. Stanton calls out the signals, gets the snap waist high, goes for the arching pass in the corner, has a receiver close and incomplete. Out of the hands of the outstretched hands of Jacob Hanna.
There is a flag on the play. Let's see whether it's against Hutchinson or Maize.
That was a high arching, could have brought water pass. So picking up the infraction will be for Hutchinson, Devon Hackney, a defensive back.
He had pretty good coverage, but got tangled up.
Half the distance, so put it on the 12-yard line, so 1st and 10 Eagles. Again, you're listening to Salt Hawk Football on KWBW, Hutchinson, Kansas. The setup in the eye. Stoppage of play by the referee is in there now. Is again Moses at the tailback spot, Stanton the quarterback.
They're trying to make sure they spotted the ball in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're going to move it back a little bit to the 14-yard line.
Okay, to the 14-yard line is what they ascertain is the correct spot. They'll split a wide out on the left side. Jacob Hanna as well out there for Maize. Go with the swing pass to the left side. Nice stop by Cahoon.
He came up. Peyton Cahoon came up rapidly, and that's actually a tackle for possibly a loss of 1.
Yeah, Crockett had caught it over there. Cahoon with a nice stop. That's the sophomore that caught the football. 2nd down and a long 10. We'll call it 11. Ball on the 15 with a minute and 36 to go in the 3rd quarter of play. Hutchinson trailing 52-7.
Hutchinson 8th graders off to a good start.
Oh, yeah.
They beat Derby North yesterday 24-8.
And freshman got a good win the other day too at Wichita West.
Got some good young players coming up through the ranks.
Long snap count. Back to pass Isaac. Looks to his right side. Pumps once, twice. Got a man open. Incomplete pass. Off his fingertips on the far side.
That's Kyle Grill.
Well, that was Kyle Grill. Yeah, Grill. I talked about him. Kyle, a sophomore wide receiver in there, 6'3", 161, just off his fingertips.
He'd like another chance at making that catch.
I think he would too. Inside of a minute, clock moving away.
Pretty well.
And we are in a running clock situation now, Dan, as they have yet to stop it. And they look to the sidelines, so they'll get their play. Again, next week we'll be in Garden City.
I think that's a new interpretation of the clock rule. I thought it was supposed to be only in the 4th quarter.
I don't know. They started in the 3rd. Maybe
they went ahead. They went ahead and let it run after that incomplete pass.
It might be Isaac, the quarterback, and stoppage of play. Referee stop.
Delay a game here.
All right, delay a game, so they'll back it up a little bit. Show sideline reports again brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit, as well as Papa John's Pizza. We'll mark it back, and the clock's still moving. We're going to go to the 4th quarter of play here in just a second. So I don't believe they're going to get another one off, and they will huddle up, and we'll switch sides here as we go to the 4th quarter. Hutchinson trailing 52-7. Eagles on top. This is the Salt Hawk Radio Network. We'll be back right after this.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're first for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarano. It is 4th quarter, 52-7. Eagles on top of the Hutchinson Salthawks, the Maize Eagles, that is. Sarah Peterson with the YouTube stream, as well as NFHS Network, and also Joe Blake on the sidelines. Guys, 2049 is the next 13th, September 13th of 2049 is when the next harvest moon hits on Friday the 13th.
2049.
2049. Now, you and I probably won't be here. These two youngins probably will be here.
I'm going to mark my calendar to make sure I'm not busy.
See, that's just 29 years, so, when you do the math, which I'm not very good at. All right, here we go. Eagles have the football. Back is Isaac, throws to the set up the screen on the left side, and little or no gain. It's going to carry it close to the first down, however, as he picked it up to the 15, I believe. They'll mark it on the 16. So the ball was at the 20. Let's see where they put it.
This fourth quarter is going to go rapidly.
Yeah, it really is.
The clock will not stop.
Now, 4th and 15 is the call. So they went with the screenplay on that left side, just about pulled it off. They'll try another field goal.
Same kicker. He's a sophomore.
And Seagraves will get the opportunity. Here's the hold and the kick, and it is on its way, and it is good. So 55-7 is your score. Eagles on the scoreboard again. They lead the Salthawks of Hutchinson. We'll be back for the Eagle kickoff when we return right after this.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Yard field goal by Seagraves. It's a good one. We watched him warm up. He was kicking field goals pretty proficiently. So right there he showed 55-7. Kind of all academic right now. 48-point lead for the Eagles with 10:15 to go in this fourth quarter play and waiting the Eagles kickoff.
I think it's a different kicker this time. I can't quite see his number.
That is number 81, Colton
All right.
Crockett.
Thank you. Crockett's going to kick off. Colton Crockett. It's going to be taken by the Salthawks at about the 10-yard line. Up the left side. Has some room on the left side. I think that's Rogers. And he falls forward. That was McEwen, excuse me, to the 36. Pretty nice return. They'll mark it officially at the 34 with his knee hit. So Hutchinson will have the football, 1st and 10 from that. And, Dan, what they need to do is just drive it down the field, show that offense that they can have some success, and try to go back to the drawing board and get ready for Garden City next week.
Yeah, this has been a night that has belonged to the Maize Eagles. 305 yards of total offense compared to 123 for the Salthawks.
All right. Dallas Chambers, the quarterback, sends a man in motion, a rocket pitch on the outside of McEwen. Stutter steps, turns, flag on the play, has some room, gets out to the 40, pick up a 5, and let's see what the flag is. It's laying at about the 31-yard line.
Alec McEwen continues to play hard, even though the outcome of this game is no longer in question. Yeah. I like the way he's playing hard.
Well, he turned that corner and got the only touchdown for the Salthawks earlier on in action. I think this is going to be a hold, correct? Let's check it. Nope, illegal block below the waist. Going to be picked up by the Salthawks. And they'll get the call to go against Chase Kepler, who is a sophomore, by the way. Hutchinson getting some youngsters in there to play a little bit as well.
Alec McEwen has picked up 61 yards on 10 rushing attempts this game. That's not too bad.
1st and 26 for the Salthawks now. Football on the 20-yard line with 8:20 to go in the game. You can stay tuned after the game. We'll talk to Coach Vernon on the Medicine Shop post-game capsule. McEwen, he picks it up a nice bounce off. That's going to be Rogers on the turn, as Dallas Chambers barely got it to him, and Rogers out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. So
quarterback Dallas Chambers under duress as he tried to make the pitch.
2nd down and long.
Rogers did a nice job of finding a way to scoop up that ball and pick up a little bit of positive yardage.
Only picked up one. Ball on the 25. They've got to get to the 46 for the first down, so long snap catch, Chambers. Give up the middle. Barlow has some room across the 30 to the 36-yard line. So they got a big chunk of that right there, and they'll mark the football right there at the 36. So Barlow with some positive yards off that give up the middle. I like the way Barlow runs.
He ran hard. Always does.
All right, they'll split wide out left side. Hutchinson will put a man out there. Put a man in motion. That's Rogers to give this time to McEwen. Comes across, has some room. 40, 45-yard line to the 46. Very close to the first down.
They're going to give him.
They're going to give it to him.
Good job.
So 1st and 10 for Hutchinson. Clock moving along with 6:40 to go in his fourth quarter of play. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, along with Stairs Peterson up in the booth, and Joe Blake on the sidelines, bringing you all the action. If you go to NFHS, we'll have that on and uploaded later tonight. Here's the pitch to Rogers around the left side. Turns the corner, has some room. He's got the first down and more, all the way down inside of Eagle territory to about the 30-yard line. Let's see if he stepped out of bounds on that far side. Joe might have had a better look and might be close. As they do say, he stepped out of bounds at the 39.
Moving the chains down here.
But 1st and 10.
15-yard gain.
Yeah.
Rocket toss to the left. Braden Rogers, one of the captains for Hutchinson.
6 minutes to go in this ball game. Hutchinson fell way behind early with turnovers.
This one's going to be rocket toss to the right.
Chambers, the quarterback.
No option.
Give straight
right.
up the middle. Give it. Is that Barlow on the carry? Yes, it was. Across the 36 to the 35-yard line. Yeah, they'll say a little less than that. Knee hit. They'll mark it right at the 35. So 2nd down and 6. So 4-yard pickup for Barlow. I do like the way Barlow runs. And what I mean by that is north and south. A lot of kids don't run north and south, Dan,
That's
as
right.
you well know. They just try to get a little bit more by dropping back and trying to turn a corner, and Barlow just straight up away. And, of course, that's the play design. There's another give to Barlow, and this time he's stacked up after a pickup of maybe 2.
In this Hutchinson Salthawk offense, that's the fullback's job, to go straight towards the goal line, especially when you run option. If the defensive tackle does not come down to tackle the fullback, he gets the ball.
If you haven't been to this year's Kansas State Fair, please try and make a trip out there over the weekend. It is really nice this year. There are a lot of changes, and it's going to be beautiful weather, so take advantage of it. 3rd down and 4 now for the Salthawks. Chambers fakes the throw, gives it on the outside on the pitch to McEwen. Turns the corner, gets some blockers out there to the 21-yard line. They'll move chains again. And a pretty nice drive by Hutchinson. Yes, he did a nice job of following his blockers, and then when he needed to, he knew he could outrun them to try to get by and pick up as much as he could.
Jonathan Fan still out there. Again, Jonathan was injured during the first game, couldn't play, wasn't able to suit up, but he's out there at right tackle still. He's a good offensive lineman.
Yeah, he is. 5'11", 300-pounder. Chambers, a quarterback. Man in motion is Rogers. The pitch on the left side of Rogers. Boy, they had it read. They come up and meet him quickly right at the 26-yard line. Rogers was met in his tracks.
Yeah, that was Drew Otero.
Well, he read it, didn't he?
The 5'10" sophomore.
Small move back to the 26, 2nd down and 15 for Hutchinson. 3:33, clock moving along. Well, Maize will go to 2-0. Salthawks will fall to 0-2. Chambers. Man in motion this time, McEwen around the right side. Splits 2 defenders, gets stood up and then stopped, and make sure they don't pry the football away. And he'll fall forward after a pickup of a couple. Actually, loss on the play, Loss of about a yard on the play, so they'll move it back to the 28. So Hutchinson with the football with 2:54 to go.
Maize will host Hayesville Campus, a week from tonight. Hutchinson Salthawks will travel to Garden City, and we'll be there to bring the action
on
to
the
you.
road to Garden. you and I both talked about the atmosphere of the game is outstanding. Here's a give to McEwen, goes straight up the middle, now out to the right side across the 20 down to about the 15. It'll get a bunch of that yardage back. Sets up fourth down and about 5. Nice run as he went with that counter, and then he turned straight up to the south and took it right up to the 16.
Again, Garden City has a very young team this year. They start 6 sophomores. They only have 9 seniors on their roster, so Hutchinson will look to get in the win column 1 week from tonight.
All right. Here we give it to Barlow. Barlow across, and they'll stoppage of play. Barlow was off to the races. Looked like he maybe was even going to score, but they stopped the play before it got underway. Illegal procedure, false start.
And 4th and 10 is a little bit tougher than 4th and 5.
So with 1:40 to go, that'll move the ball back for the Salthawks. 55-7. Maize all over the Salthawks.
Garden City is a team that has lots of good, strong football tradition. Last year went 2-7.
Check and see if Joe has a score on that here in the second or not. And here's Chambers. The turn. Wants to throw the football. Now he tucks it away. He's at the 15, 10, angles to the 5. Touchdown, Hutchinson.
How about that? He wanted to throw the football. It started to slip out of his hand as he went to throw it. So he just recollected the football and took off running wherever he could find some opening.
Yeah, Joe Black had a good look at that. Nice run by Nels Chambers.
He bobbled the ball, and Isaiah Delval did a great job. He was out for the pass and then realized Chambers was running and sealed his man and was able to get the outside and get into the end zone.
Again, Joe Blake's sideline reports brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit, as well as Papa John's Pizza. What was that, a 25-yarder?
I think so.
Kick is up and on its way, and it is good. Now, just got in that left upright, and your score 55-14. Hutchinson on the short end, and Hutch will get set to kick it away unless the game is going to end on that, and I believe that is going to be it.
They're just going to call it good.
Your final score from Maize, it's the Maize Eagles 55, the Salthawks of Hutchinson 14. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, add up all the numbers, get set for the Medicine Shop post-game show. We'll be back with more on the Salthawk Radio Network.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to